Everyone.
Hi everyone, hopefully we're live. Welcome to another Skatement show. And hi from me, Thomas, and from...
Hi guys, it's Y2K from Singapore. Hoping you're all doing fine and well. And to Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Y2K, Thomas, Abdul, and everyone out there. G'day to the punters. If you're watching this in the future, g'day to you as well. I'm JCB, based in Melbourne, Australia, and down here it is about 9:30, so I'm sipping on an Arbalor 12-year-old I've got today. So
Nice.
That is wicked.
Looking forward to having a good chat and seeing what Y2K and Abdul have on their Grail list. So I'm just going to settle back and kick back and talk now and shut up for the rest of the show and let these guys get on with it.
all good, JCB.
So yeah, I was just gonna... I know that JCB's a nice chronograph fan.
I am.
Just wondered what he thought of this watch, which was the new Rattrapant in platinum, the Lange Söhne 1815.
Man,
I haven't read much up about it, but it's
absolutely
homage to the Honey Gold collection, but in platinum.
Well, the honey gold, as we know, came out in 2020. So it's been out for a while, the honey gold. And the honey gold was an interesting one because it was actually the first time that Lange had done a Rattrapant, a single Rattrapant chronograph. Because as you guys will know, or if you don't know, the first time they did a split seconds chronograph was actually with a double split. So the double this is how mentally deranged Lange are. They were like, we're going to bring out a split seconds chronograph, but when we do it, we're not just going to do a single, we're going to do a double. So the first ever split seconds chronograph was the double split. And then I think it was about sometime after that, maybe I'm going to say 8 years, I could be wrong. Then they brought out the triple split. And you guys will know the triple split by the case back. When you look at that thing, it looks like a little city. It is just absolutely mind-bending, right? And then they brought this thing out, they brought out the honey gold in 2020. The first time they brought out a single split, and I just loved it. Look at the thing. It's just immaculate. It's such a beautiful piece. It's just killer piece, man. Unreal. One of their best watches, I reckon. One of their best for sure. I mean, Langes are all great, but when you look at the catalog, this one is just a banger, absolute banger.
But then they've done this platinum version, this one here that we see.
Yeah, that's if a special Lange is not enough for you, that the platinum one would be.
Yeah,
that would be a very hefty watch on the wrist and on the wallet as well.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's all about the materials.
Wow.
The materials. Yeah.
They use just the platinum with the watch, and it's just perfect with the German silver that they have the movement with. It's just looks so elegant and Yeah, it's my second favorite chronograph released this couple of weeks, because the first one is the Groningenfeld one. They released their first chronograph ever, and it's just out of this world. Out of this
I love
world.
how they called it the chronograph as well.
Yeah, chronograph. Yeah.
They didn't really have a choice, did they? They didn't really have a choice. They had to call it that, I think.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you guys think of this 1815 Rattrapant line from Lange?
I love it.
Thomas and Y2K. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's
like with Lange, right? Lange's got so many amazing pieces. Where would this one fit in for you guys in the in the upper echelons of the catalog? Do you think?
Yeah, this is them getting into complications, isn't it? You can tell because it's a chronograph, and yeah, this is upping their game a bit. You can tell.
Split seconds.
Yeah.
Not easy to do. Not easy to do.
No.
The question really is, when you buy such a timepiece, are you looking for something that's a bit more simpler? The first thing that we notice is that this is more suited for someone who's looking for leather straps, dressier watch. Then we go into the complications itself, and then as a consumer and a buyer or a fan of Lange's, do we consider buying a watch with more complication, or do we decide to buy something a bit more simple? But realistically, the honey gold, I actually quite like the honey gold actually much better than the other ones, because I felt the honey gold one really stood out. It had this very classy.
It did. You're right. You're right. Yeah. The honey gold really was something special, wasn't it? It really was.
Yes. And especially for the watch face, when we talk about contrasted colors. So I find that for this particular series, they tend to go with a lot of white faces and blue hands. So whenever I see a timepiece like that, I'm like, okay, white face, blue hands, white face, blue hands. But going with the honey gold is really a step up of a different class, And the hands, number one, the hands are very different in color. The numerals are so much clearer. The word glass shoot on its own, on the left, and the other text on the right itself is so crisp and clear. And coupled with that lovely chocolate brown, I would call it chocolate brown leather. Leather strap really makes it look beautiful, out of this world. I like it. Yeah.
I think the dial might even be like super dark brown. I could be corrected, but something in my head. I haven't looked at this watch for a long time, but I remember looking at it in 2020 when it came out, and
it's almost like a dark brown. It's like a tobacco color, like a tobacco brown.
I think it is. I think it is.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. I like them both, to be honest. I like the white one and the white dialed one, and the darker dialed one. Both look fantastic. But I would love the black one, the black dialed one, maybe on a rose gold case or something like that, instead of the platinum.
So there's that release, and then I just wanted to get your opinions on the new Sarpaneva glow in the dark moon watch. It's got this amazing Sarpaneva doing their thing again, where they paint into the laser etch style, and they paint what's it called, luminous paint into the dial to get that amazing color.
Man, that's cool.
Amazing loom.
Yeah.
I thought that was a basketball.
Yeah, they brought the Moomin watch earlier on, didn't they? But this one's €17,000. This one, but they do a blue, they do a orange moon, and they've brought out a white moon as well. It's got this owl in the foreground, and then the moon in the background.
Yeah, it's such a fun watch. It's such a fun watch.
It really is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a
discussing
watch
this
really for young people, really. If you want to
Well,
feel young.
I was
I would
discussing this
buy
on
it.
I was discussing this on Bobby Legg's stream last night, and he was saying that it, you know, it's a really nice watch, but it's a kind of watch that you'd need a big collection for before you started getting into it. You know, it's not the kind of watch that you'd buy at that price at 17,000. You know, you wouldn't be buying this as your one and only sort of thing. You know, unless you really love the brand. It's the kind of watch.
I was just going to say, like, even if you did have
a lot of watches in the collection. You have a lot of watches in the collection first before you even ventured into this.
Mm-hmm.
This watch can pass off like a casual Friday. Sorry, Abdul.
Yeah. I was just gonna say this could be like if you're filling the moon watch, like you have a moon phase watch in your collection, and you have like a chronograph, you have a world time, you have a perpetual calendar, you have other 10, 12 watches, and you want to get a moon watch, like a watch with a moon phase. This would be my choice because that's my favorite depiction of a moon phase. That's totally not classical. It's so unique. The case shape is unique. And the maker, the watchmaker from Sarpaneva is such a nice guy. I always write him on Instagram whenever he releases something, and he always comes back, writes a message. Do you like this one? And I wanted actually to get one of his watches last year, and it was sold out. And then I wrote him, and I was like, sorry, just sold out yesterday. And I was like, fuck, just one day. And I was like, okay, the next time I will be ready. But this is out of my budget at the moment for what I'm looking for.
Do you follow the brand at all? Like,
yeah.
Okay.
He has even like two brands. He has the Sarpaneva, where he produces these kinds of watches. He has SUF, and the watches comes from Finland, from Helsinki. And the SUF is more like he has like a Soprod movement or maybe Selita, and the case and Soprod, right? Yeah, and the dial he makes it himself then. And it has more or less a style of a field watch, sports watch, with has 100 meters water resistant, but very unique and it looks really nice.
I have an interesting question for you guys. In terms of the consumer's point of view, we're looking at 17,000 euros. Is that right for this piece?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, so 17,000 euros for this piece. I would say that being it as a fun watch, it really will. I do not actually have the statistical figures for the sales for this, but I would say that as a consumer, I like the fact that it looks fun.
19,000.
19,000 euros.
19,000 euros. Okay, so with it at running at 19,000 euros, I feel that from a personal point of view, it will struggle itself to get the buyers interested with it. So what will be the buying point in this piece will really be the aesthetics and the artistry they're looking in the watch face itself, be it let's call it the basketball and the moon, because the orange one looks like a basketball and the moon is really the moon. So it really is an acquired taste with such a specific design. But what I feel that if they really want to stretch it out to the market, they can still expand beyond just doing these kinds of designs, but try the other kinds
that's exactly what he that's exactly what he does with the SUF. Like he produces cheaper watches with SUF, like under 3,500 euros, which has a good build quality Soprod movements. And actually, Tom, this one is just one version, but the movement has two moons, one at like 180 degrees from each other. So you have the morning moon and the night moon. So you have the orange one, it was in the morning, and then you get, when it's in the night, you get the white one. So it just goes around 2 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they were practically unnoticeable in the whole industry until last year when they won the GPHG award with one of their watches, the first one from the Sloom. And after that, everything was sold out. Everything on his website was sold out until now.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say out of my price age, I wouldn't be looking at that. I think that's for
Yeah.
like, you got to have
Yeah.
super money, and you got to really be super into that brand. I
Yeah, you
reckon.
Yep.
gotta have a lot of watches already before you start venturing into that, I think. Just
Yeah.
like to say hello to a few people in the chat. Lux Report, Perpetual Time, hi Alex, and
Everyone in chat.
JPCWC, Jamie Opulence, Dodger, Laughing Face, Watch Solo, Surty Danny. Good to see you all. Yeah, it's great to see
Hey
you
Thomas,
guys.
boys, we forgot to do a customary wristwatch check. Come on.
Yes, before we
Oh.
forget.
Mhm.
What the hell?
Go ahead, gents. Go ahead, gents.
Oh, come on. Go for
Well-
it, Thomas. What do you got?
I know that T and Ticker's got a Hamilton W10. He got a Hamilton W10 recently, and
Oh, yeah.
I got one of these, and the next watch I think he should get is one of these. It's a Seiko S7A28 -7120, and it's a 1990s helicopter RAF helicopter chronograph, and it's a quartz one.
Did you say
This is
7A28?
7A28 movement. Yeah, it's using the 7A28 quartz movement.
Those,
But
those,
this is a great one. This.
man, do you know how expensive they are now, Thomas? These the military issue
Really cool.
Seikos. That man,
Wow.
they're going for big money. Those watches now. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Is this the one with the nylon strap?
Man, they're great. Yeah, man, I'd love to have one of those. They're
Yeah.
killer watches.
1990s helicopter pilot's watch, so that. So,
Nice.
think you could put that on your list. It's a great watch, honestly. And
They're too much now, man. They've gone crazy. If you have a look at eBay, they're going for Australian between 3 and 4 grand Aussie.
Wow.
What's that?
really,
Wow. That's
Is it the one with the nylon strap?
I'm always looking for 7A28s because I love the 7A28s and 7A38s because they're 80s quartz chronographs, right?
yeah.
And,
Well, it's the first. It was the first. It was the first battery-operated quartz chronograph, I think, wasn't it, by Seiko?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it came out in the Speed Timer in I'm gonna say 1984. I could be wrong on the year, but early 80s was the first analog quartz chronograph. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're just cool watches. They're just, they're dainty, they're sort of small, they're thin, they've got this charm, they've got this real charm about them. Just really cool pieces, I reckon.
Yeah, got a new haircut, Y2K. That M's asking.
Yeah, can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks good.
There you go.
Bloody hell.
No, it is ferociously hot. So I look like a mount. Well, I look a mushroom head. So yesterday it was just trimming off, and it feels like a big load is off my head. It's fantastic, really. A good hairdresser, a good barber, and you just feel a lot more cool and yeah.
What watch are you wearing, Y2K? What you got on the
okay.
wrist?
So let me get the light of it here. So today I'm wearing a vintage Omega Constellation quartz.
Constellation. Wow,
Nice.
chronograph as well.
Classical.
Let me just pull it out. There you go.
Really nice.
Beautiful.
So
You don't
this
see chronographs very often, man.
Yeah. I was just gonna say. It's dual date.
no, it's a dual date. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting. It's not a chronograph.
Date.
So this is actually one that was handed down to me from my father, and before that was my grandfather. So I managed to find a watch maker here locally that restored the module, because what's happened was that the module was actually, the battery had kind of leaked into the module, and it compromised the module. So he had to find a backup module, and now with the new module in and a servicing and everything, it's just working perfectly fine.
Nice. That's very
I think
cool.
Alex is looking for the link.
I sent him a link. Over email, via email. I don't know how to drop the link, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
If you go to his email or WhatsApp, the link to the show's there.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Can you do it? Yeah, you drop the link.
Is that a modded G-Shock?
Sure is, man.
Casio?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Casio.
Nice.
Love this thing. It's such a cool watch.
This is the black version, isn't it? With the white dials in there.
The
white
full
indices. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, standard one. You know, the black with the white indices and hands, and then I've got the Gen 3 mod kit from bloody AliExpress or whatever it was. The best $300 I've ever spent. Great fun, this watch. Cool.
Hi, Alex.
Great.
Welcome, Alex.
Alex.
Hi, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
can you fine?
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good to see you. What have you got on the wrist, Abdul?
I have my newly acquired Seiko GMT.
Oh, cool.
Seiko 5 GMT in orange.
Sick, man.
Nice.
That's awesome. How is it?
But
It's really nice, and I have to say, I like that the bezel is friction, so it always aligns if you want. It doesn't have a problem with the aligning.
unusual for Seiko.
Yeah, exactly. And until now, I'm enjoying it a lot. And the orange even looks better in real than pictures, and you can see it has a half disc gray and half black. And in some lights it turns all black, and some lights it comes back. Pretty fun watch, 100 meters water resistant. So definitely would be wearing this on my when I go to vacation.
Beautiful.
Awesome,
Beautiful.
Love it. Are you wearing a watch at the moment, Alex? Or are you
I took it off.
Naked.
I was about to go on the bench, so I just took my IWC off now.
Yeah, lovely. Big pilot, 47.
Pilot, yeah.
But I actually,
yeah,
it's a lovely watch. But I actually did a verification on a live stream for a customer. I just need to edit it because he didn't want to show his face, but he bought a watch on eBay over a year ago, a Hulk. And basically, as we are talking now, is how I did the assessment of the watch. So he sent me the watch, and I didn't open the package until he sent it. And unfortunately, it was a fake, and it was $12,500 he paid on eBay for it.
What?
Yeah.
My goodness.
So it was before the authentication process that eBay offers. Now the thing is, obviously, I don't want you to think I'm being biased here, but I've had watches that have come to me that have gone through the authentication process of eBay, and you'll be surprised how there's things that they do miss.
Yeah.
Just saying, it's not fake news that I'm giving, I'm just being honest.
So you did this on a live stream. How did the guy take it? What was the reaction? Fucking hell. What's the link to the live stream? I want to watch it, man.
Yeah, because the problem was, so the way I work it is that I say to them prior, please don't mention your full name and your address due to GDPR. Because if he ever shares that with somebody, if it's a genuine watch and he shares it with somebody, then that means that they know their full name and the address, which is not needed. All that's needed is so where you see my name, Alex and Perpetual Time, is the model number and serial number. That will be the model and serial number. And once he agrees to seeing the model number and serial number, then I go through the process of checking the watch, checking the timekeeping, checking the sealing, checking on watch register, testing each and every link on the bracelet. Now, what's interesting on this watch, it was actually 904L steel, but it was some coating of 904L steel. And then when you get to the end link, it shows up as the cheap steel. So it was wrong anyway. I could tell straight away, even the smell of the box was incorrect, because there's a certain fake smell in the Rolex boxes. It's a very industrial kind of plasticky smell.
Okay.
That's sharp. Like that's real sharp. Even the distinctive
Smell.
odor and the smell
Yeah.
of the box.
Now the question is that he wanted to know if it was real or not, because he bought it from a guy, and the guy said to him, look, I'm willing to take it to a jeweler's. So the jewelers authenticated it. Now the question is, were the jewelers in on it, or did they really not know?
Yeah, that's
I
a
think
good
there
question.
Jewelers, if it's just like, I don't know, some mall, like a high street jeweler, they probably wouldn't even know.
Well, exactly there. And the other thing is as well is that, let's say if he genuinely believed it was real and then tried to sell it as real, then he's liable. So that's also unfair, because he genuinely believed that it was real. So there's a lot of facets to this system that I do, in terms of there's people that genuinely believe that the watch they bought 6 years ago was real.
Yeah.
And that's worrying.
Yeah.
And that's pre eBay authentication period, yes?
Yes, that's what he's told me. Yeah, that's what he told me. It's pre authentication period.
So
Was it like
basically, around-
was it a really good fake though, Alex? Was it like when you look at it, would you go, oh fuck, this is like a really like one of those super fake
super clone?
Rolexes? Or because or was it like for you, did you just look at it and go, fuck, this is fake? Like it was bad though. You know what I
Well,
mean?
to be honest with you, from the moment I cut so I used I even said, do you mind if I use a case knife, like a Stanley knife opening, because he literally packaged it like it was, it was like something that you'd find that someone wants to hide something. He put masking tape and duct tape, and he really well packaged it, and I was forever there trying to open it. And I thought, I've got to be careful how I open it so it doesn't cut into the box. But as I saw the color of the box, I thought, okay, there's something not right here. Because believe it or not, these fakers don't even get the box color. They find that difficult to get.
Really?
Yeah, you have to pay quite a lot of money to get even the good quality box. Now, the thing is that just because the box is fake doesn't mean the watch is fake, because a lot of dealers don't like to carry the boxes on them. They tend to have the boxes sent separately. And unfortunately, they can buy fake boxes with legitimate, non-stolen, authentic watches in the box. That's very common. There's one company that was unfortunately stocked up with a lot of fake boxes and was stuck with them. I'm not going to say who they are, but they're a huge company. I believe David Khalil mentioned something about them. I don't know by name, but the boxes, you'll find a lot of dealers won't even have a box. They just have the paperwork in like a plastic pouch. Well, I've got some here. So when I saw the box, I thought, right, that box is not real. And then it just uncovered from there. And then there was plastic around the bracelet, the typical Chinese. And then there was a fake barcode on the side. You know what they decided to do that?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Big barcode.
So, look, that then thought, right, okay. But I said to him, would you still like me to open it? He says, yes. Now, prior to me opening it, I checked it from 30 meters to 100 meters, up to 200 meters, and he took liability if it broke in the machine. Now, the reason why I checked that is because he's brought it to me in one condition. I don't want to give it back to him in a lesser condition, even though it's not a real watch. Because I don't know what he's going to do with it. Obviously, a fake watch is a fake watch. It's technically illegal, isn't it, to own a fake watch, even in some countries in France. Some places in the world, such as France, if you're caught with a fake watch or a fake handbag, they don't take it lightly.
Really?
Yeah, in Switzerland, if you're in the airport, In the
Yes.
airport, you get a big fine. We have a lot of stories of people with fake bags or fake watches, and then they think, I'm just wearing it or I'm just carrying it as a carryover, and then they get like hefty fines.
Big fines, yeah. So unfortunately, the report came back as fake, and he paid the invoice to have for the report and send it back. So then I send him the embedded link, which is kept, that he can then click on and show the watch going through the process. So that's his paperwork. You can't fake that.
Yeah.
You can't fake that paperwork.
So video is the evidence.
No different than when I learned this from doing work with the NCA and the police on reports. No different than when they show me pictures or video footage of them going into someone's house and saying, yes, we found these drug stash here, we found these watches here, and they're filming it.
Yeah.
That's difficult to fake.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Was the guy was he a sophisticated buyer, or was he sort of a newcomer to the scene, or what? I'm just interested to hear the background of the guy, like who buys a Rolex sort of over eBay these days, kind of thing. Does it happen? I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, this sounds like he was from a private seller. I didn't ask for. I'll be honest with you, I didn't ask for his details. I didn't. But he was a private seller, so he has his name and address. Now, I believe he must have paid off eBay because he paid cash.
Wow. Okay. Fuck. So he went outside of eBay, outside of PayPal, and did a cash deal on a fake watch. So he's got fucking nothing. He's got no recourse at all.
Yeah. No, I don't. I believe that he did it out of eBay. I believe he did it out of eBay because when I heard he said he paid cash, then whether he paid a deposit and then paid cash, I didn't ask too many questions, to be honest.
No, eBay doesn't. You can get cash only on delivery. Like you can have the option cash on delivery, but I guess with paying through eBay, you pay more, let's say, commission for eBay as a seller and as a buyer, but you have the safety. So I think he doesn't have any safety anymore, I guess.
No, he doesn't. I mean, look, it's no different than I had a customer that wanted to buy a tag watch, and he decided to buy it on Chrono 24. And he bought it from Japan. So by the time it came, he obviously paid the customs. I may have told you the story. He paid the customs charge, got the watch, and then he decided to bring it to me to have a link taken out. So as soon as I saw it, I said, this watch is fake.
Wow.
Now, some years afterwards, I seen him and I said, what happened? He says, well, I emailed the company to tell them that I showed you the watch and you said it was fake, and they gave me a full refund and told me to keep the watch. Now the thing is, I didn't even give him a report. Now I do believe it's not just. I'm not, by no means am I saying they know my company. I'm not even going to go. I'm not going to say it's because of my name, but I believe because of the fact they're Japanese, and the Japanese tend to. This you can't tell a Japanese seller to change the customs charge. They won't listen to you. If it's £5,000, they'll say it's 5,000. No matter what you do, they won't lessen it. That's from the experience that I've had. So I didn't even give the guy a report. He got a full refund. He got a full refund for this watch. He was a bit cheeky because he then asked me to try and still repair it for him. I said, I don't touch fake watches.
But
the Japanese are very loyal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill's saying, did he buy the watch and have it in storage? How many years after he bought the watch did he get the authentication done?
He decided to get the authentication done over 12 months. 12 months after.
That's so idiotic, to be honest.
So he sat on it for 12 months?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh,
Now I can
dear.
only go what I've been told, because I've
Yeah,
had people
sure.
where I know they're not telling the truth,
Yeah, of course.
but it's not up to me to start
Judging them.
investigating them. No,
Yeah,
no, I
of course not.
can only, especially when it's a dealer's side as well, where a dealer's making out he didn't know it was fake, or it must have gone through the cracks, you know.
Yeah, you can only but take them on face value of what they say, can't you? Yeah.
Exactly. But unfortunately, this is a big issue. This is a big problem through all platforms. I'm not just saying eBay, but on all platforms. You know, this is a big concern. Whether it's the condition or the authenticity, those two factors tend to be a bit of imagination. You know, some people sway, you know, on those two subjects, unfortunately.
Yeah. So I'll just say hello to a few more people. Bill and Dis. I could see you. Serti Danny. Yeah.
Everyone in chat.
Everyone in chat. Great to see you. Rene de la Pans. Good to see you.
So Alex, a question for you. What's the best time range for a person who wants to check their watch? Like, if I buy a watch today and it arrives, let's say today, should I get it today to you to get it checked out? That's the best thing, right?
Well, the best thing is to have the person for you to pay for the person to drop it off at my premises or send it prior.
Yeah, get it done before. Get it done before.
Before even, yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah,
Now,
if you can.
I mean, obviously they have to trust me, but if you go on my Perpetual Time website, you don't. Can I mention this, Thomas, or on the platform?
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
If you go on my Perpetual Time website, you'll see authentication check at the top, and then a video of me talking about the process. So, and then I ask a few questions: has the watch been bought, or are you going to buy it prior? Would you like it to be stored? There's a few adjustments I need to make because some of it doesn't make full sense. But what I mean by that is that some people may be God knows where, in which other country, France, Greece, Spain, and they may see a watch that they like, but they don't want to pay for it prior inspection. So they can then have it sent to me if the seller is willing to do so. I can check it and then it can be stored in one of my vaults at a fee. So then that person knows that not only has the watch been checked, but it's been securely and under insurance being stored in my premises. So then he can choose to either pick up the watch or have it sent using his own courier. So that way, rather than rushing the transaction thinking that he's going to lose the option of buying the watch, he then puts the onus on the seller.
Yep.
That's the way. That is probably the best way to do it.
Yeah.
Also, the fact that the timing and the timing checks are going to be, and sealing checks, if there's any issue with timing or sealing, then that can be sorted prior to picking up the watch through Perpetual Time. So this caters for all aspects. All aspects, or, you know, some people that might say, do you know what, Alex, I've already bought it, can I just send it to you? I did have a gentleman that sent me a solid gold Submariner, and it was fully original, but he paid a pretty good price on it. He actually paid a very, very good price on it, and that's what concerned him. And it was all fine, all good. But unfortunately, the Hulk was a complete entire fake.
Oh dear. Yeah,
So,
but I think I can only recommend using Alex's authentication service. It makes sense. Really does make sense. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Alex. It was very informative. Like what Alex is saying, the one thing, even if you receive hand-me-down watches that are like from your kin, from your family members. So what I did with my grandpa's Rolex Oyster Perpetual was I sent it straight to Rolex. I had no box, no papers. hand-me-down watch. I just took it, marched into Rolex and said, I want this watch serviced, and bada bing, bada boom, within 24 hours, I had a phone call, everything was fine, and they would tell me what they were going to do and everything. That was how I did mine, yes.
I think it's all about trust. The issue is that Chrono24 tell me if I'm wrong here, because I can only go from what I've experienced. They give you a buyer's protection. Now, if you look into what that means that you are liable to check the watch yourself within the turnaround time that they provide, and then you have to pay the fee that whatever that watchmaker or watch technician is wanting to check the watch, and then you have to know that they're knowing what to look for. And if you don't do it within the time frame, then you can't get your money back.
Yep, exactly.
So, and this is the reason why also on my own channel, can I mention this, Thomas?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
Go for it.
On my own channel, I'm wanting to do ask a watchmaker any questions. So that's what I'm wanting to do on my own channel, where people can ask me any questions.
If you want to just put the link to your in the private chat to your channel, Alex, I can post it in the chat.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll get a link now.
There's a couple of watches that are in the private chat as well. Some links there. If we've got time, we should have a look at those too. I think Abdul dropped the Groningenfeld. I just put the link in for the Furlan Mary, the Mecca Quartz chronos, some new ones that dropped during the week, which look pretty cool.
Can I just answer Rene's question?
Yes, certainly.
On the Piaget Polo S.
Certainly.
Yes,
there's a link to Alex's channel just in the chat there.
Thank you. Thanks. That's my channel. That's my OnlyFans URL.
What other secrets are you hiding?
That's my OnlyFans, guys. I would say for the Piaget Polo S, about 40 to 60% off. I wouldn't advise buying that watch personally, but if you want to scratch that itch, then
yeah.
Actually, if Rene wants to be serious, I can help him out to source one at discount.
And Laughing Face had also a question.
What was your question, Laughing Face?
He needs an opinion on Oris 400.
18 karat bezel hands gold. 10 years warranty?
Yeah, I think the Oris is a better deal, but to be honest, I would have chosen the Tudor or the Breitling before the Oris. Because I like Tudor more, and I feel like the new Breitlings are the brand starting to pick up steam again. Oris is already doing great, but as I said, I like more Tudor and Breitling.
Can I answer that?
Go right ahead, Alex.
So, from a watchmaker's perspective, I would avoid all of them apart from the Omega Seamaster 300.
Oh, there you go.
Actually,
I prefer my number one choice in the whole list is the Omega Seamaster 300 meters, because I have two Omega Seamasters and they have never let me down. Yeah, they've always been very reliable.
I mean, I'll be honest with you, I look at it from the inner to the outer. So I look inner being the movement, outer being what's covering, what's coating the movement, so to speak, like his body, his case, his bracelet. Inner to outer, I'll definitely say the Omega Seamaster. Movement inside that is superior. my own concern with Breitling is if they're still doing that ridiculous middle case exchange rubbish movements I don't particularly are fond of. Very expensive to service on the Breitling. Tudor, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being a bit biased because I don't particularly like them. The Oris, I just can't stand. I just don't like that brand. Especially when you want to repair them. They take forever to get the parts, and then you've got a customer screaming, "Where's my watch?"
Really? Yeah. I'll just bring up this Groningenfeld you were talking about, Abdul.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Just
The tantalum you're referring to, or the stainless steel?
yeah, and they have like a new innovation with instead of a vertical column wheel, they have a horizontal one, and it just looks so good, so good.
It's beautiful. Look at that strap. Stingray. No, that's a Stingray.
Python. I think it's a Python strap.
Python, sorry.
Wow.
That's beautiful. Look at it.
Such a beautiful one.
I know if Lux was in the house, Lux would definitely like a good leather strap. Yes.
Look at that.
There you go, Alex. That's the movement.
Yeah, guys, if that came into my workshop, I'd be like, no, you send that back to Grunfeld. Give me an anxiety attack looking at that.
Yeah.
Do you know what's crazy though? They must use special screwdrivers because metal to metal, you'll bruise those screws. So they may use hard plastic to unwind it and then use metal to take the screw out, because it's clearly obvious that if you see any bruising on those screws or any marks, then it's just you don't even need an eyeglass, you'll just see it with your naked eye. So that's impressive.
1 of 25. And
How much is it?
Whenever it says one or something, it's gonna cost.
Yeah. I think it's over 80 maybe. I'm not sure.
80, what, sterling?
80?
Because the last one was like 65 and it was sold out within a couple of days. The Rementoir.
80,000 sterling.
Must
I
be
think
at
that-
least.
Yeah, at least,
must
yeah.
Oh,
At least.
It looks so nice. And that second hand is so good looking.
It's got a wee bit of open heart on the 4 o'clock marker, eh?
Yeah.
That's not a
balance wheel, I guess,
Remontoir.
right? Rementoir in it,
about-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Constant force mechanism.
Yeah. Here's a watch for you, Bill. Have we got a watch for you?
Yeah.
It's like wearing a little snake on your wrist. That strap is catching my eye very, very sharply.
Yeah, it's a nice strap. Just everything on the watch is perfect, to be honest. It's just...
So, should we get on to the Grail Watches?
Let's do
Yeah.
it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, sure.
Thomas,
Yeah.
I'm just going to be moving in the background, okay? But I'm going to be muted, all right?
Yeah, sure.
All right,
Okay.
so I'll be here, yeah? You don't mind, yeah?
No, not at all. No.
Okay.
Well,
Go ahead, Abdul.
So,
Boom.
you talked about the Zeitwerk last time as well. And
yeah, we talked about Zeitwerk. But there's
Yeah.
three types of Zeitwerk, aren't there? There's the or three types that make the noise. There's the minute repeater, which strikes every 10 minutes with a double strike, and
Yeah.
there's a decimal strike, strikes every other hour and every 10 minutes, and you've chosen the striking time, which strikes every quarter hour and every hour.
exactly.
It's-
And it's just one of these watches that such a beautiful watch, and it was so underrated back in the days when 5 years ago, 6 years ago, you could have gotten this for like 70,000 used, and it's new 500,000. So when I was in Geneva 5 years ago, and I had a meeting there, and I went into an Lange Söhne boutique, and they had the watch, and I heard the watch live, and I held it in my hand, and I have to say, it's just like, this is like, for me, a definition of a Grail watch. So when you get this watch, you're like, okay, I'm just wearing it to enjoy it myself, just me and myself. And online, on Chrono, you can find it for 109,000 euros, which is good discount from the new price. And it's just, it has everything that you might need for a special watch. It has a special complication with the chime. It has the display that you have, this digital analog display with the jumping hour, jumping minutes, and you have this fantastic watchmaking at the back with the movement. And yeah, it's just a watch that for me, it's just above all the other watches. This would be my number one watch to buy if I win a lottery.
Yeah.
Oh, pretty sick.
Yeah.
Would you not go for the decimal that strikes every 10 minutes?
Yeah,
or...
this I actually would go for the decimal. I would actually go for the striking of 10 minutes, because it's just more enjoyable. Like I even queued the video up to for the 10 minutes one. Yeah, just don't know if you can hear it, but you can't hear it, right? I guess.
No, we can't hear it.
Oh, okay. Just yeah.
No, I can't hear it, man.
No, I can't hear it. Okay, then don't know why it's working, but yeah, it's just one of these watches that for me it's just like a dream watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you guys think about? I know GCB had the other one, the non-striking time, in his list as well.
Yeah, but these ones with these ones with the gongs and the hammers on the left and the right, it's just gorgeous, I think.
Yeah,
these
just
the striking time and the decimal time, just beautiful.
Yeah, I think the beauty here is really something that almost every watch collector that I've met or known agreed that they like this watch somehow, or at least the non-striking or the other one.
Oh, that's good, Doctor. Scores out of 10. He wants scores out of 10 for the watches. Ooh.
Gents, let's give our scores out of 10, and yeah, definitely. Thomas, let's start with you if you want.
Well, I'm in love with minute repeaters, and they're my favorite complication, and so this has to be a 9 up there, I think, or an 8. An 8, I'll give it, because I just love minute repeaters. I love the digital display. I love the fact it's a minute repeater. Yeah. It scores highly. 8 or 9, definitely.
Abdul?
But then I'm probably going to be saying that for most of the watches that we look at today.
Yeah, I'd give it a 10, to be honest. This would be, if I only have to wear one watch, this would be my one watch for the rest of my life. Like I wouldn't mind wearing this.
Yeah, I'll give it a 9. It's a 9 from me. I'm just going to take 1 point off for the thickness. This one's the Zeitwerk already is a little bit thick, and then you throw in the chiming, the minute repeater, it gets a bit thicker. So yeah, I'll just take a point off for that. But otherwise, yeah, love it.
And I think for this particular piece, before let's do that, I think, is that Alex, would you like to chime in? with your point score for this piece before I forget. Yes, Alex, would you like to chime in?
Oh, okay, Lange Söhne. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the complications on it?
It's
It
the
has a
strike time.
How much is that?
used
It's,
is 109.
Oh, is that it? Oh, that's affordable.
112 originally it was, I think. 112,000 euros.
Oh, look, I mean, I've been fortunate enough to see them in the flesh, Lange Söhne, you know, certain models, and it's one of my all-time favorite brands. Is when you see a Lange and you see a Rolex, you wouldn't look at the Rolex twice. In all fairness,
No.
you see
Yeah.
true watchmaking, true German Swiss watchmaking. You know, it's a stunning watch. It's big as well.
Yeah, I think it's 44.2. Yeah.
That's
Oh
big.
wow, 44.2.
Even though I don't like big watches, but this is just for me, love at first sight.
Yeah, I think it's Lange. They actually make a watch where the dial is actually a very thick block of solid gold, and rather than print on the dial, they carve into the dial. Now, get your head around how they do that. They carve into the dial, so everything is lifted up. So they carve A. Lange & Son into it, and everything else, the window, and for the day, etc. It's phenomenal how they even think of doing that, and that's nuts. They're like reverse, if you think about it. They're reversing on a pure piece of gold.
Absolutely.
I'll be honest, Abdul. When I first saw this piece, I gave it a 7. But there's always a but for me. But when I saw the capabilities of this piece, now the repeaters and the 2 gongs literally won me over. It's because number one, I'm always a person who likes to buy timepieces that are unique, you know, and the uniqueness also includes making that ding, that sound.
Yep.
And aside from that, but the color contrasting is what I also quite like in a timepiece like that. Now, I don't know about any of you, but it does look like a dashboard in a sports car. So as an automobile fan, I like the look of how it looks like a speedometer, and it's got that very busy look in terms of its styles. It's got big numerals on the 9 and the 3. Now, the other thing that I quite like about it is the size that won me over. When you pull up the size, it was 44, and my score went from 7 all the way to 9.5. Now, if there was a Lange that I would buy. Now, in terms of Lange, I've always felt they were very dressy pieces. They're meant for people who prefer the dressier type of watches, you know, and nothing. And when we talk about dressy watches, we always think that maybe dressy watches are a bit more slim, small, low profile. But if you're spending good money for a very expensive timepiece, would you not want more real estate for your money in this timepiece? So for me, running with 44 millimeters is definitely a do it, you know, definitely a go for it. And as with you, I will sit with you on this bench and say that if there was one Lange, I would definitely go for this one because of the size. As a person who loves chunky monkey watches, 44, anything that's above 42, especially if a watch brand that I've not actually like had a lot of time to look at and research into the brand. And for Lange, knowing that they're very well respectable brand, I would definitely get this piece as well. I would change the straps though. I would always play the straps. Yes, I would change the straps.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, for me, this is even if it's big, I like it. And like GCB said last time, like I got my collecting inspiration from my father and grandfather, and my father collected watches like complications. He liked to have one date only, one day date, one annual calendar, and so on. And my grandfather like was really purist. He had one date just, which was his office watch or work watch, and one date, which was his weekend watch to go to work, and other than that, only like time only dress watches. And I have like a combination of both. I like to have complications, but at the same time, I like the time only principle. So my number 2 watch would be this Groningenfeld 1941 because I think it's the birthday year of their father. So it has this remontoire, which basically is a constant force mechanism, which spins after 8 seconds, which is such a cool complication. And the exact one that I wanted to get would be this one, the salmon dial on white gold. That would
yeah, I
be my
mean,
choice.
you said that the remontoire spins after 8 seconds, and Jean's remontoires change after once a second, and Lange's change after once a minute. They spin after once a minute, and but this one's once every 8 seconds, which is I mean, it's a gorgeous watch. This was in my collection, but you've taken it now, so I've got to change. But this is a stunning watch, and Bill uses this as his avatar, and it's just a gorgeous watch. Yeah, I love this.
Handcrafted, and when you see the remontoire in action, it's just such a sleek complication. Yeah, that's it. So every 8 seconds.
It's using a Voutilainen dial as well, isn't it, on it?
Exactly. Just the workmanship is out of this world. Just yeah. And everything is sold out, and they don't have even waiting lists anymore in Groningenfeld. So basically, even if I would have the lottery ticket, if I win it right now, I would only be able to get it on the secondary market, which is a very high markup price still, because I think it was around 60 or something like that. So
yeah, the remontoire charges up a spring that acts as a buffer between the main spring balance and the escapement, doesn't it? It's a interesting constant force concept. It's really but constant force is amazing. It's the way that the watch actually stops rather than slowing down. You know, when the power runs out, it actually stops. You know, it's after, is it 35 hours or something?
Yeah, something like that. 38. Yeah.
Yeah, 38 hours power reserve, but it actually stops after that time, rather than just slowing down gradually. The constant force is always constant and maintaining a really high time sort of accuracy. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, accuracy.
So, guys, what do you think about it?
That's got to be a 9, definitely for me. Yeah, just amazing. 9.5. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I really like Groningenfeld. Just in general, I think I really like the finishing and the watches. You know, the quality and finishing of the watches is just amazing. I've never had one in my hand, but just from looking at the pictures, and I follow their Instagram a lot. And one thing is when you see they do these little videos, and they've got the finishing of the watches has a unique look to it. You can tell the Groningenfeld when you look at the back, you know what you're looking at. And so they do something very special in terms of their finishing that's very unique to them. So yeah, no, it's cool. I'd probably give it I'm going to give this one an 8. Yeah, I like it. It's not my favorite watch, just because it's a 3-hander, but I can definitely get on board and appreciate it. It's a very, very nice watch.
Yeah, white gold with the salmon dial is just gorgeous. I mean, the Grandfold brothers are coming out of the Netherlands, aren't they?
Yep.
So it's made in Holland. So it's But
Do you guys know what I mean? Have a look at their Instagram, right? And you'll see that they always show the back. You hardly ever even see the front of the watches. They're always showing the back. And in the light, the way the light reflects off all of the movement, it's really distinct look that they get on the finishing of the movement. I don't know what they do. I don't know how they do it, but it's amazing. I love it. It's really, really cool.
Alex.
Yeah.
Groningenfeld. Repertoire. Constant source.
It's a stunning piece and highly complicated. You know, I mean, something that I can only admire and never work on for me. But there's a lot of man hours gone into that movement. I mean, it is the Zonder of watches, isn't it? You know the Zonder as in the cars. This is like the watch version. Everything is handcrafted and highly limited. So I think just on that basis it's an extremely special piece. I don't know how the process is to buy one, because I know on certain Patek Philippe's they literally will interview you, and then they decide.
Wow.
Yeah, they then decide whether you are, because they interviewed one of my clients, and he actually flew out as well to the factory.
Wow.
So yeah, so that, I mean, that makes you feel very special if they choose to sell you the piece and then they fly you out. Maybe Thomas, you should start your own watch brand and do the same. What do you think? I'm being serious.
Say hi to Jonathan, saying the Grunfeld brothers, together with Stephen Forsey, were working on the Lange Söhne Paul and Merit back in 1994, where they were working at Renault Papi. Ah.
Yeah. That era in Renault de Papi, if you buy a watch from that era, you're buying a watch from the masters of watchmaking that we have right now, Groningenfeld, Stefan Forsey, and all these guys. They used to work there, so you definitely get a watch that you would cherish forever.
Yeah, just like to say hello to Junior Johnson as well. Good to see you, Junior.
Hey, Junior.
Hey, Junior.
Hey, Junior.
And my third watch is also another watch. Yeah, exactly. That JCB had in his list as
JCB's watch. It's the Rex SP.
Yeah. I tried to choose another one. I was like, okay, I'll choose another one from Recep Recepi, but I can't. It's just this one. This one is just perfect. It's just
this is the watch, man. Yeah,
it's just the perfect. If you're getting a rose gold watch to have in your collection, this would be it. This would be definitely it.
How good is it? How good is it? It's so good.
No, it's all right. It's just the little things on this watch impresses me. Look at the recess in the minute hand. Have you noticed how the little recess is the way it's dished? And look at the second hand. It's just little things like that. My only criticism on this watch is the crown. And the reason being is it just looks very kind of, there's no symbol or anything on it. It just looks quite lame. But the dial and the hands, I mean, look how thick that hand is, and look at it oozes just class and craftsmanship. And I don't know if you know, but Roger Smith, they actually literally sit there and make their own hands in 18 karat gold. So it looks like these guys do the same. And I believe they're two Albanians, two brothers. One of them was working for Patek Philippe at a very young age, and I think and then his brother worked with him. I don't know the full story, but they were at the Salon QP event many years ago when I went, and impressive timepieces.
Yeah, they're really cool guys. Like Recep, I met him several times at Baselworld, and each time he was like such a gentleman, such a cool guy. He comes out and talks and shows the watches, even though for 4 years, every year I saw him and I didn't buy anything, but still he was always welcoming and always really fun to talk to and really informative. So that's also a plus when you're buying from someone that someone like this. Yeah, it's just for me a perfect dress watch.
How much is it?
I didn't find any pieces sold online. It's already sold out because this is the earlier model, and there is nothing I found on the secondary market.
Abdul, when was this launched?
I think a couple of years ago, right, GCB? Like maybe
It's quite a few years ago, actually. 2018.
2018, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
And it was the GPHG men's category winner of that year as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolute banger. But yeah, looking at the crowd, yeah, I agree, Alex. They probably could have put
No, I saw it.
Could have put something on there for sure. Besides that, it's pretty sick. Yeah.
Abdul, I think I'm beginning to see a trend in your watch tastes. Yes.
Yeah, a lot of dress watches, right?
Yes, but very interesting choices. I think you like something very classical, but at the same time with a good leather strap. And I know I probably know for a fact that you quite also prefer your watches not to be too high profile, too chunky, but very decent. I would say the design, you want it decent. And you know, when you zoomed in on the watch face, the markers inside were raised. So I would say that because, you know, I've never actually seen this watch, let alone hold it. But in terms of the bespoke craftsmanship, I will give them the credit for the level of craftsmanship, you know, doing that artistry for the watch face itself. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a beautiful, beautiful watch.
Yeah, really.
I'm giving it a 9.5 for me, this one.
Yeah, I'd say a nine for me.
What's the diameter of this?
I think it was
39, I think.
39, right? 39, yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
This
39.
would be a 7.5 for me. Yeah. I'll give my reasons.
Because if it was 45, if it was a 45, would you give it another couple of points up?
Yeah, 10.
JCB, you're toying with me. I tell you one thing. Okay. With admittingly, today I'm wearing something very small, okay? So I do accept all watches of all diameters, regardless of how, you know. But in terms of feeling it, I think for the price point, I want more real estate. So I would say that for that particular piece, yes, I would like it bigger. And if it had like a two-tone bracelet, yeah, I feel if it had a two-tone bracelet, silvers on the sides and matching gold in the center with the watch face, I would like it. Yeah.
The dress watch on a bracelet, I would maybe kill myself if I see it. This is like catastrophe.
Abdul, I'm scaring you with my turning a beautiful timepiece into a complete circus.
Yeah. This watch is like, but like Alex said, I never noticed the crown until Alex mentioned it, and now I can see, like, an RR here would be just make it a 10 for me. Other than that, it's 9.5.
Yeah, I can see what you mean now.
It has a vintage feel to it, you know. The one thing I see the Roman numerals, it has that very strong vintage feel to it, and you know, it's like those old clocks.
Art Deco, yeah.
So, like those old clocks, if you got Roman numerals, you know, you've got a dark background, bigger face, actually looks much, you know, sharper. But aesthetics is very relative to each and everyone. So for me, I don't doubt the movement. You know, I think for the movement for this piece, I would give it at least a 9. But in terms of the look, I would give it a 7.5. Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan's saying it's 55 for the old one and 110 for the new one.
Yeah.
And Just want to say to JJ, we start at 12 GMT. So just a bit before Bill starts, I think.
And we have a question for Alex from Watch Cholo. Alex, do you sport dress watches?
Watch Cholo, isn't that? He's changed his name. He's I'm sure he's an alien now. I'm sure he's Greek. Watch Cholo. So sports watches. For me, I'm going to actually sell my WC Big Pilots and any other watches that I have, and I'm going to stick to one watch, and that's going to be my Bulgari Octo Finissimo on a blue dial. That's the watch for me. That's the one and done. So any watches I have around me, I'm just getting rid of, apart from one watch that I built. Sorry, but yeah, that's it. It's Majestic Meatball. This, thank you, it's Majestic Meatball. Yasu watch so Cholo. Yeah, that's the watch I'll be getting because it's a stunning piece. For me, it's the one and done watch. The way the bracelet the way it's got the facets on the case and the bracelet and that real thin movement, and it's automatic. It just looks. It's a sexy watch.
Yeah.
I know Archie hates it, but I love it. So
I like it.
I think he was asking you, do you do dress watches though? Do you like dress watches?
Well, that is a dress watch, the Octo Finissimo.
Right. I think it's more dress. Yeah, I suppose so.
No, definitely. I would class that Octo Finissimo as a dress watch for sure. I don't class it as I wouldn't class it as a sports watch. I mean, you guys tell me what you think. I think it's a dress watch.
I feel like the 100 meters one is like a dress watch that can do it all. It's like a day dress, like a day dress. You can wear it in the boardroom. You can go to the pool with it. You can wear it with shorts. And I think the Octo Finissimo is one of these watches that if it has the 100 meters water resistant, you can do everything with it. It could be really your one and done.
I don't think it's a dress watch. A dress watch for me comes on a strap.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I suppose when you think of dress watch, you do think of straps. Actually, yeah, like this one we're looking at now. It's usually like a black strap or a brown. It's quite thin. But the reason why I say that is because the bracelet is extremely thin on the Octo Finissimo. It's almost like a strap. It really is. If you actually go and try one on or see one, you will see what I mean. It's very, very thin, the strap.
What do you thought? Sorry, what?
Go ahead.
I was going to ask Abdul, what do you think of the new the RRC2, the Recepi number 2?
I like it, but I like this more.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know why. It just has this something, when you see something and you're like, this just took it to the next level for me. This is just perfect as is, except for the crown that now Alex mentioned it. I have it now burnt in my memory.
Yeah.
But other than that,
I wasn't thinking about the crown. But now that Alex mentioned it, you're right, Alex.
Yeah, there are stuff that you don't see because of the beauty of the watch, and you just perfect until someone mentions it. And it's like, now that you mention it, now I see it as well.
Do you know what they should do with that crown? They should put an onyx stone in it, a curved onyx stone.
Oh, that would be nice.
To go with the dial. Yes. That's what they should do.
Very nice.
If they're listening, the consultancy fee of £1,000 for me giving
that. Should we see your next one, Abdul?
Yeah, my next one is a Roger Dubuis retrograde sympathy double retrograde calendar chronograph.
Oh la la!
There's a lot going on the dial, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jump out day and date, and it's limited to 28 pieces. Got a
Exactly.
chronograph, moon phase, and retrograde day date. And there's actually one on eBay at the moment for £65,000.
Yeah, this is also around the same price, 66. Yeah. And I know GCB will like the dial configuration. Maybe in black, he would like it even more. But this
Yeah.
for me is like I don't like busy watches, but this one just has something that I cannot put my hand on, but I just like it so much. Maybe the double retrograde on both sides, so I have the days of the week and the days of the month. So I have a date from 1 to 31 and Monday to Sunday. So every time it goes back to Sunday, it jumps back to Monday. Then you have the chronograph, which is, yeah, you cannot read it so well, let's say, if the hands are, let's say, in the middle, but you have a chronograph. So if you need to use it, you would find a way to use it, and you have a moon phase. And of course, the movement is just pretty
Man,
cool.
that's a complicated watch, man.
Yeah.
It's immaculate. It's immaculate and very delicate. When I say the word delicate, it's not like the meaning of fragile, but you imagine the amount of work and effort it goes into. Now with Roger Dubuis, I have to really give it credit because as a Faculty of Arts graduate, I've always liked watches that take design to the next level. And even though like this particular piece looks very busy, I still give credit to Roger Dubuis in terms of its other designs and its pieces, not just this one. But in terms of this piece, I like the busyness, especially if you're running at, I think it was 39 millimeters, yes?
Yep.
So if you're
39,
running
yes.
at 39 millimeters, but you have such a very busy dial, and that means that the busy dial actually compensates for the smallness in its size. But let's not forget that Roger Dubuis also is very, the way that the people design the pieces, it's on a whole different level. They take watch aesthetics, the whole design concepts, everything, to a very tenaciously high level, pushing the boundaries. So that's one thing that actually I do admire Roger Dubuis as a brand. And for this piece, it's definitely a go for me, even though it's only 39. But I would say the design itself speaks very loudly, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's a 2004 watches, isn't it? Came out in 2004. So
Yeah.
Interesting shape.
Yeah, that's one of the things that also attracted me to it, because you have round shape, you have squares, and then you have something like this where you have it's a little bit asymmetrical curves, and it just looks so unique. Like if you're wearing this, nobody would be like, is that a Rolex? Is that a Patek? Is that a Vacheron? It doesn't look like anything.
One could be fooled, Abdul. One could be fooled to think that this is probably close to what you say, a Patek, but in other ways, they could probably think it's a Frank Muller new generation, because sometimes we see Frank Muller designs where the numbers have a very concave setup, where they seem to be floating up. So this watch sometimes carries that kind of Frank Muller feel to it. Yeah.
And you can see
who
the
loves
numbering.
these watches? Brian Govberg. He's the guy who his father owns Govberg watches, Watchbox, like the Govberg family.
Yeah.
Govberg, Brian and Tim Mosso used to do a show. You guys have probably watched it. The one was called From the Vault, or
Oh yeah.
And he always used to pull out a sympathy, and he always used to say how much he loved these watches. And I used to, that's how I know about these watches, was from watching little Brian talk about them all the time. Yeah, very cool watch. The case, the sympathy case, there's no other case like that. When you see one, you know what it is. You know what you're in for. It's pretty cool, very distinct. Nice one. I'm going to give this one a 7. The dial color and the config is a bit too too busy, a bit too loud for me. But I love the case. I really like the Sympathy case. I think it's very distinct, very cool.
Yeah, I'm
No,
not. This isn't. I don't like the case too much. I'd probably go for a 6 on this, to be honest with you. And the dial's too busy for me. It's too busy. But 6.5. 6.5. Sorry.
See,
I'll give it another point. I can't give it a 6, can I?
Was that movement the 6?
I know. I can't give it a 6 for that movement.
Oh, just hold it there for a minute, man. Go back. Look at that look at the case. That's a cool shot. I think that's you can see it's ergonomic, but it's also got some angles. There's a lot going on there, but the overall profile is very nice. It's very smooth and very ergonomic looking, but then there's intertwined in that. There's all these angles and lines and very cool. I like that a lot.
What have we got for us next, then, Abdul?
I have a very special watch, which is the Grubel Forsey handmade one.
Man. Yeah, started in 2004 and released it in 2019.
50 years.
Only 2 or 3 made each year. Wow.
Exactly. Yeah, that's I think it's 750,000 euros, something like that in that area. So definitely
900,000 Swiss francs.
900 Swiss francs now. Okay, now it's 900. So
totally handmade. These.
Yep.
Totally handmade by hand.
Yeah, everything is handmade. Everything.
Single part handmade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
it takes about 3 years to make apparently, and made using techniques from the 17th, 18th, and 19th century. And one wheel takes 600 times more than on a normal watch. One of the wheels, and the tourbillon takes.
What a sick watch, man! That is sick.
The tourbillon takes 35 times more to make than a normal tourbillon. It's just phenomenal. It's amazing. Just
look at the movement. Look at the back.
All the engraving is hand engraved by using hand chiseled, by hand. It's just phenomenal.
This is what real handmade watch looks like. Like everything is handmade by a master of watchmakers, and it's just this exclusivity and just like a watch that they say, okay, it's handmade. Like there is no Swiss made. It's just handmade. We did this by hand.
Robert Grubel, Stephen Forsey. I mean, I think Stephen Forsey wears one of these now and again.
Yep.
And I think, are they platinum case or silver case?
I think it's a platinum case, 43.5, and this is Tim's from Watchbox. So his wrist is around 16.5 centimeters, so it's around 6.5 inches. So as you can see, it's still very wearable for mid-size wrists, even though it's 43.5, because the case construction is done that it curves to the downwards.
White gold, I think, and it's 43 millimeter case, so it's quite big. Quite a big watch. But
can I be a painter? Can we go back to that Roger Dubuis watch? I just want to. Is it okay? Just want to check something.
Of course.
Can I just have a look at the movement?
Yeah.
Back.
Oops.
Right. Okay.
So
basically. Is this white gold?
The movement, I'm not sure.
No, the case. Sorry.
The case, I think it's red gold, right, or yellow gold?
Rose gold, I believe.
Rose gold,
pink,
right?
Pink
gold, yeah.
Rose gold. This is rose gold. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Sorry. Right.
looks like a Lemania base somehow. These bridges look like a Lemania.
That's right. Yeah. So there's a complication on the other side, the R side, isn't there?
Yeah. I think one of the running seconds, that might be the running seconds, right? If you see here, we have the running seconds, on the left side, and the 30 minutes counter on the right side next to the crown. So we have here the 30 minutes counter and then the seconds counter. So that's the chronograph part. Yeah, it's a pretty complicated watch.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I asked if it was white gold, because I remember years ago you couldn't shift Roger Dubuis watches even at 60% off. And they used to have this habit of the white gold going yellow. And then you had to re-rhodium plate the case. Now Rolex, you don't do that. With Rolex, they refine their own white gold, and you can polish it. It doesn't go yellow, but it's really frustrating when you see like Frank Muller's and other brands like Cartier, Frank Muller, Roger Dubuis, where the cases will start to go like this horrible yellow on the white gold case, and you have to re-rhodium plate them. But that was just. But for me, that watch is awful. It's just that watch is a watch where you have to physically try it on to appreciate it. It's not a watch that you look at and go, "Oh my God, that's such a nice piece." That watch is, it's just, it doesn't. I just think it's just not the best looking piece. I mean, even those pushes on the side are too small. I don't know.
For me, it's just a design. It falls down. But it's going for a classical look, I suppose. Their individual look, Roger Dubuis' look.
Going back to the Grubel Forsey.
Yeah,
and this is just the dream watch, like I say. Definitely, this is like if I see someone wearing this watch, I would appreciate a conversation with him more than someone that's wearing a 5 million euros Richard Mille.
How much is it?
I think 900,000 euros.
This is 900,000.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow! Ouch! Oh dear.
Okay, this is not. And the escapement, what is? Okay, what's the?
It's a tourbillon. I think it turns every 30, like double speed, I guess, and everything is handmade. So they make only 2 or 3 timepieces per year.
Would you take this or the Groningenfeld? This over the Groningenfeld?
No,
Yes.
I like the Groningenfeld more. To be honest, because the Groningenfeld is just. I like the Groningenfeld has this remontoire, and it just. I think I would be the whole time looking at my watch every 8 seconds just to catch the remontoire, just giving away the extra energy. This one is like I would appreciate. I would wear maybe once a year, but other than that, I'll just have it somewhere in a glass
Cabinet.
cabinet where I just watch it.
It looks
For me,
industrial.
For me,
That's all?
this one's the watch for me. I mean, this one really is.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
Thomas, that watch is awful. It looks industrial. It looks like students made it.
I think.
I think you'll be disappointed if you saw that watch in the flesh. I mean, even the strap looks cheap and nasty. Now,
I was going to say before, the strap's not the best.
I never thought I'd say that about a Forsey watch, but it just look. I mean, I'm sorry, but Roger Smith is a much better watch than that.
Oh yeah.
This is just awful. It looks like something out of China.
I wouldn't go that far.
Oh my goodness.
You maybe need to see it in flesh. Because
Okay, I'll tell you like this. Take the name off the dial. Right? This is the way I look at it. This is what I was trying to explain to people with the Zenith Chronomaster, the one they say looks like a Daytona.
Chronomaster Sport. Yeah.
It's a much better watch than the Daytona for many reasons. But you take the name off this watch. You take the name off this watch, and someone shows you that. I tell you now that you wouldn't be impressed by it. You won't be. Forget the fact that there's a tourbillon. You wouldn't be impressed by it. I think.
If I know it's a tourbillon, handmade, everything is done. Even the tools that they used, they did it handmade, like in the 1700s. I would be definitely impressed. But if it came from China, I would know that everything is machine made. Everything is just CNC, laser etched, and produced by the hundreds. But it would look different, you know.
But it's 900,000.
Yeah.
Have you imagine seeing £900,000 cash on a table and someone gives you that?
Yeah, I wouldn't pay my only 900,000 in that watch. I would only pay
Yeah, but
if I
it's
just
sort of relative, Alex, as well. You know, like the guys that are buying Grubels, they've got like, you know, they're fucking billionaires, mate. You know, dropping 900 on a watch is nothing for those guys. Man.
No, I don't think it's all relative. No, comes a point where you have to explain yourself to people why you're charging 900,000, and I don't see that. I just see a watch that could be made a lot better. It just looks wrong. It's not a good watch. That
I have to agree to disagree with you today on this watch, because it just, for me, if I have $100 million that I just won in the lottery, I would definitely wouldn't mind getting 1% out to get this watch. Of course, if it's only 10 million, then I would have to think about it, because that's a big chunk of money that I could use to get the other watches. But like I said, if I just won 100 million euros in the lottery and I'm just splurging, I would definitely get this one instead of getting a Richard Mille or something like that.
Yeah, but if I won 100 million euros on the lottery, I would have a house with 100 rooms and 10 swimming pools. But if we're being realistic here and you worked hard for your money, would you pay £900,000 for that watch?
No. If it's my first million, I wouldn't pay it in this watch. But even my first 10 million, I wouldn't pay it with this watch. It just has to be money won in the lottery. Other than that,
I think I would just think about what you just said there. You don't really like it that much.
No, I like it a lot, but it's 900,000 euros. It's even if I love it, it's not like the Zeitwerk, which is 100,000, which has a jump hour mechanism, has a Fusain chain in the back, gongs, chiming. It's totally different. It's 9 times the worth of the Zeitwerk, which is my #1 choice. This is my number 7. You know what I mean?
Okay. This is made of white gold, isn't it?
Yep.
So they don't even put it in platinum, and you're paying £900,000.
Yeah, but you're paying sometimes for a Richard Mille 1 million in stainless steel. So.
But listen, Richard Mille is a completely different kettle of fish, though.
Yeah, it's just the look. You're just paying for the name, for the whole marketing.
No, you're not paying just for the name on Richard Mille. No. That's no disrespect, but that's a bit of being a bit ignorant, really. No, I'm not being disrespectful, but you're not just paying for the name.
Of course, their technology is very high. I am not saying you're not like the new watch they have or the other watches that they have in their collection are very well made. They get the best makers from everywhere in the world, and they get their movements together. They get the space, the best material, the newest material. But you cannot say that Grubel Forsey is not using the highest standard in building watches by handmade and comparing them to, I don't know, watches that are made with machines, that are not even made by the same watchmaker that maybe spends the whole year in making it.
Can I just say something, though? I think some people go down the rabbit hole too much and believe too much what they're told. There is marketing strategies involved, and there's certain ways of wording things that people assume are fact. What I mean by it is there's certain ways of saying something, a watch is handmade or made, or what this part is made here and that part's made there. Shouldn't always believe what you're being told, because it's also marketing as well. I'm not saying just on this watch. It's probably slightly different, but on other brands as well. But £900,000 is extortionate. It's ridiculous. I can't justify that.
I think there is a good question to ask in terms of the pricing. a consumer may ask, why does this particular brand, how does it rationalize the price point? Are they concerned about paying the overheads or paying the marketing itself? Now, Grubel Forsey, although it is more of a brand that came out in the 2000s, there is significant credit to how its design is. But at the same time, I'm a price tag shopper, I admit. So as much as I do like a tourbillon, I will be looking at questioning in terms of the price point. And if I really want to justify the price, logically, I would start with looking at the second-hand market to see how this piece actually fares within the second-hand market and do some price comparisons. Yeah.
Look, by no means, look, at the end of the day, if that watch is being handmade, that's fair enough, and I'm sure it takes a lot of dedication, many hours to have people to work on that watch. But I'm just seeing it as a £900,000 figure. I just think is a lot, is too high. That's just, for £900,000 and you get that watch, I just think is extremely high. That's just an opinion. I'm not, that's just an opinion.
Yeah, I chose the list. If money is no question.
Abdul, where credit is due, I must only say one thing. Let's say if I picture myself as the newbie buyer, I do like a lot of skeleton watches. I do like a lot of tourbillons. One thing, I'm just taking a look at Grubel Forsey's website. I think they've done some revamping. Interestingly enough, what they have done in terms of the way that when they sell their pieces, from a marketing point of view, they've been using the keywords like handmade, and then they do mention about like each year they only produce a certain amount of pieces as well. So it carries itself as a brand, I believe, trying to get itself into the watch industry itself, justifying the price point, and the limitations of the production as well. So I would say the price is a bit on the kind of touch and go, really. Touch and go. Yeah.
I mean, look, once again, it's just the €900,000 mark is extortionate, And I totally respect that. Okay, there's Richard Milles that are less or slightly more, if not even more. Yeah, and okay, this watch is handmade and all that, but you would have thought that at that price you'd get something a bit more, or just something a bit, it just does. It just looks very, I don't know. It's very industrial. That's why I would prefer to go for a Roger Smith, or even pay less and go with a company that may not be so handmade. Because can you imagine how much it costs to service it? And I know what you're going to say.
Yep.
Well, if you're paying £900,000, you're not going to worry about servicing it.
No, I agree. That's why I chose the Remontoir between the two, like the Groningenfeld Remontoir. I would choose definitely, even though money is no question in this list, but I would choose the Remontoir because I like the look more. But if I had the budget that I'm splurging around and I don't care about money so much, definitely get this watch. It's just, for me, it looks fantastic. For me, it just looks like I took a time machine, went back to the 1700s, gave a design to the watchmakers back then. I told them, make this watch, and they make it with the technology from the 1700s.
Should we have a look at your next piece?
Yeah, let's move on. It's causing a bit of a
MBNF LMX titanium dual time legacy machine in titanium green. That would be next watch on my list.
Abdul, 10. I give it a 10 already.
There's two pieces of this. 7-day power reserve. It's got a flying balance with. It's got a rotating power reserve indicator as well. The 10th anniversary of the LM1, and as Max Booster said, the LM1 on steroids. This is, and there's 8 legacy machines that were made in 10 years, and this is the 9th one. And the Voutilainen worked on the LMs on the dialers, the LMs, but the flying balance wheel is just amazing. That double air spring at the top. It's the classic signature of the LMs, and it's got double dual time on, as Abdul said, which is amazing.
Yeah, this would be my traveling watch from the list. It has the dual time.
I don't know what psychic powers you have, Abdul, but this is apparently one of my grails as well.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, seriously, it's one of my grails as well, because the one thing I do really give credit to MBNF is not just the way they do the designs and the pieces. You can slip on a watch style, but the thing about this piece, when I was doing a presentation last time, was how much things are operating, are going simultaneously. You know, the amount of things that's happening there. I like a watch that is very transparent, because when I look at it, it takes my mind off work, it takes my mind off everything, and I'm completely mesmerized by the whole operation of it. And let alone it having two dual times, if I'm not wrong. I remember it's dual time.
Dual time.
So yeah, so you have, as a traveling watch, it's perfect, and not everybody appreciates MBNF, you know, that often. And really, I give it, this is flat out 10 for me. Yeah.
That rotating power reserve that you see just underneath the back, it's quite amazing. I thought it was a cylindrical tourbillon or cylindrical hairspring at first. It's the power reserve, 7-day power reserve. Amazing.
I'm going to answer this question. Sorry, guys. I'm going to answer this question Turtle Knight. You mentioned that it's made in China. No, it's not made in China, but I know what you're saying.
Neither one, the other one.
There are a lot of brands. Okay, what's happening is that in China, they're taking a lot of these very, very intricate brands. For example, I have actually seen people on eBay selling Jacob & Co. so-called imitation pieces that look like the astronomia. And what they actually do is that they put a battery instead of proper movements. And so it's very, when you look at the workmanship and the craftsmanship, it's just shoddy. It's like 6:30. It's like, that will do kind of attitude. It's not like proper QC quality control. It's just like, I'm just gonna slap it on and sell it, like some plastic little fishbowl. It's not the same. The feeling is different, So yeah, just to address that from Turtle Knight. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my dual time watch. And for my calendar watch, I chose this Parmigiani Fleurier with the Hijri perpetual calendar. So I'm a Muslim, and we use the Hijri calendar. And this was the first watch that I found that had a Hijri perpetual calendar, which basically Hijri is the Islamic lunar year, which is 11 days less than the Gregorian year that we have, the 35, the 12 months that we have. And so in Parmigiani, they had to reform some kind of their perpetual calendar movement to adjust for these 11 days that will be, let's say, lost, right? Because and they used also Eastern Arabic numerals and writings, which is also my native tongue. So I do like this watch a lot as well.
Yes, it's very interesting, this Abdul, because in the Muslim world, the calendar is based on the cycles of the moon, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Hijri Islamic lunar calendar consists of 12 months, 29 or 30 days, depending on the moon phase.
Mm-hmm.
In contrast to solar calendar, in the West, the months of the lunar calendar change.
Sorry, Thomas. Has someone got like a window open, or can you hear like some feedback?
Yeah, I can hear a lot of feedback somehow, but I have everything closed.
Okay, I just wanted to check. If someone's got something open, or put it on mute, or whatever you have to do. Thanks.
Is it better now? Yeah.
Contrast,
That's better, yeah.
Yeah, in contrast to the solar calendar, the annual difference of -10 to -12 days each month fall on a different season to the Gregorian calendar. But Parmigiani, they're great. They make everything in-house, don't they? They make all their own cases and movements and dials, and yeah, they're really good. Parmigiani, I like them a lot.
Yeah, and I think they won
Really nice looking watch.
80,000 Swiss francs, which is quite good for a perpetual calendar. That
Can we
very unique.
can we just have a look at Bill's comment here about if you just have a look what he says about the 6,000 hours is 3 people 1 year if each earns 70 to
Yeah, a master watchmaker earns more than 70K. In Switzerland, you earn 70K if you're a nurse, and that's maybe the least amount of money you're getting. So a master watchmaker could earn between 200 to 250, maybe 300,000 francs per year if you're working in Switzerland. Like teaching at university, even before professor level in Switzerland is 130, 150,000 Swiss francs per year.
Do you live in Switzerland or?
No, I live 70 kilometers away from Switzerland.
Okay.
So that's why I had a job offer from there before I went to my new company, and I had to bring the offer to the new company, and then they updated their offer, let's say.
I'm afraid we can't answer that question, Bill. You'll have to get in touch with Robert Grubel and Stephen Forsey, and
yeah, there is definitely a markup. There is definitely a markup, but
Yeah,
every watch company is making money. You know, like they want to make money. Everybody wants to make money, and at the same time, if you're getting one of 3 watches that is made per year, most of the time you don't care about what you're paying. You just care about what people will know. He's wearing $1 million watch. You know.
So they only make 3 a year.
Yeah, 2 to 3 a year.
And how many years are they going to be making that watch?
I think 2019, 2020, 21, and 22. So until now, they from 2019, and every time I guess they have like the year on on the watch. You see, this is a 2019 model, so you know that they sold maybe 2 in 2019 or 2 in 2020, something like that.
Okay. So it's pretty. I think it's fair to say it's quite small amount that are being made every year.
Yes, maybe under 10 until now in the whole years. Definitely under 10 because it's 2009, 2020, 21, and now we're 22. So could be between 4 and 6 or something like that. 4 and 7.
I'll give them a ring and see if they'll take cash at 800.
Yeah. I do think they have a waiting list for a couple of years. So I think even at that, they will say like, we have already buyers. And the next watch is the only Patek on my list, and actually one of the cheapest watches, if I could say cheap for 80,000 euros, but one of the least expensive watches on the list, which is the 5960, and it's my favorite Patek watch.
Yeah, discontinued in 2018. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I like the black dial version, obviously, but yeah, cool piece.
Yeah, I actually like the black dial version more, or the blue dial version I like the most. But the issue was I had all my list almost had darker dials, and I thought, okay, I just need to have at least one light colored dial in my collection because I also like colored dial, and the Patek was the one that I was like, okay, this one on a bracelet with the white dial looks actually not bad at all.
I watched Tim Mosso's video about this, and he said, "Get this, not the Nautilus."
Yeah.
Why the fuck would you get a Nautilus that costs 3 times more than this or whatever when you can get this? It doesn't make sense. Like, I don't get it. Anyway.
Yeah, you have
you can
annual calendar.
You can get precious metal Pateks for less than what you get for a Nautilus.
Yeah,
the whole Nautilus thing just not make sense.
I don't get the Nautilus thing either.
Have you guys ever held a Nautilus?
Yep.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. No.
A friend of
have-
mine had the 3711, and he sold it for an Aquanaut dual time before the jump. And I used to talk with him, and I had it in my hand, on my wrist, and I was like, dude, why did you pay? And he actually got it from an AD, so he paid list price.
And what do you think of the quality of the watch, Abdul? The Nautilus, the stainless steel Ultra?
To be honest, I was disappointed. I didn't tell him that, but I was disappointed that this is the Nautilus that the bracelet felt a bit like cheapish, right?
Yeah.
Cheapish, and the case was like, okay, yeah. If you compare it to an AP Royal Oak, the Royal Oak, in my opinion, is much better. Like, even though both with the market price now, I wouldn't touch them with a wooden stick, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's very, very, very overhyped piece.
Yeah.
Very.
And this one, you have a chronograph, you have a triple date, you have a power reserve. You get a lot for your money, let's say. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that was my list. I have 2 extra watches. That.
Whoa.
This one, the Fernand Berthoud.
Oh,
This is also a
amazing.
GPHG winner, and this is basically the Fernand Berthoud is the watchmaker that taught Louis Breguet.
Abraham Louis Breguet, yeah, he was his mentor, wasn't he?
Exactly.
I mean, Ferdinand Berthoud was born in Switzerland in 1727, went to Paris at 18, became a master clockmaker at 26, being appointed by King Louis XV council, made 40 marine chronometers for the French Navy and clocks for the king. People were using astronomical methods then and clocks, and he was mentor to Abraham Louis Breguet. And in 2006, Chopard bought the Ferdinand Berthoud brand, and they want to keep the same workmanship going with the company, and they're making fantastic pieces. I mean, this is 20 pieces. It's 230,000 Swiss francs, inspired by the marine chronometer number 7 that Ferdinand Berthoud produced in 1767 and constructed to the regulator type display overturned traditions. And the hours at 2 o'clock, the centiseconds, minutes at 12 o'clock, and the power reserve at 10 o'clock, and then the centiseconds, and the tourbillon with a constant force provided by Fusilier chain mechanism. Just mind-blowing. I'm so into Ferdinand Berthoud at the moment, and French watchmaking. It's just amazing, Abdul. Fascinating.
Yeah, and this mechanism for the power reserve, it's a mechanical mechanism that you can see here, that just the power from the main barrel, whenever it's low, it just goes down, down, down. So it just gets down here, and then you would have an empty power reserve. And that's just this regulator formation I never saw before. I never saw this 2 o'clock hours, the seconds here, the minute. Just, it's so unique that it just, for me, when I saw it, it was like, wow, this is a Grail watch as well.
Yeah. I mean, they when they designed these watches with the octagonal case, they put a circular case with the movement inside this octagonal case, but they designed it with a square case to look like a marine chronometer, and then just chopped off the corners to make it octagonal. But they to try and keep it with that sort of look of a sort of 17th century sort of case. Yeah.
Perfect. So that was my list.
Very nice. Very interesting list you have there, Abdul. I'm beginning
Thanks.
to. I think I've drawn a picture of how your choices are. Yeah.
Would it be safe to say, Abdul, if you could only have one, it would be the Zyverk?
Yes.
Yeah, that's your favorite. Yeah.
That's my number one. Like the number 2 would be the Rementor, because the Rementor just is so
Groningenfeld,
classical.
yeah.
It's just such a perfect watch. Let's say it's just
I agree.
Cool, man.
But the Zeitwerk would be the one that I would be like wearing on my wrist and just going everywhere with.
Thomas,
Yeah, Alex.
Bill's mentioned. You want to bring his comment up? He's mentioned us.
That watch would be worked on by lower-paid watchmakers, and then master watchmakers would finish off and assemble the watch. Wage would be an average out approximately $70,000.
In the US, maybe.
Are we talking about the Ferdinand Berthoud or about the we're still talking about the Grubel Forsey, the Grubel, right? The Grubel.
Yeah, but wages in Switzerland is very different than the US or everywhere else. Like, wages in Switzerland are very high, but cost of living is very high in Switzerland.
Yeah.
No, what he's trying to, I think what, as far as I know, Bill's trying to say is that it's no different than the artist Damien Hirst. Damien Hirst, the famous artist that made all these pieces, he didn't actually make them.
He's got people doing work, making them for him. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that skull. Do you remember the diamond skull?
Yeah. The Beers, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually not made by him. He put his name on it. So
yeah.
I think that's what Bill's trying to say, and I kind of respect what Bill's saying, and
yeah, sure,
it does make sense. I'm not disrespecting the watch. I'm just saying that is another way of marketing and making money, more money, and also training your watchmakers to a level.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, what do you got, man?
Me, okay. So I think my choice is kind of how should I say, kind of like difficult, because I had so many pieces that I like very much. Hang on, let me see if I can pull that up. So I think so the first one I chose is actually Roger Dubuis Excalibur NT Eon Gold 42mm. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, we can see that fine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think when this piece actually came out for a while, I do have a very strong affinity towards transparent watches, and I think I wouldn't use the word sympathy. I felt that Roger Dubuis actually has so much aesthetics, creativity. So when I saw their pieces in real life, I felt it wasn't just a watch. You're looking literally almost like jewelry, but at the same time, the mechanics of it's like a beating heart of a car engine as well. And this particular piece with the color configurations, gold for the case, as well as that black strap, really caught my eye completely. Caught me off guard, and this is really one of the first pieces I'll go for. And I think I can only safely say for myself that when I buy a piece, when you're putting in good money for any watch, you're actually considering, is the money that you're spending worthwhile? You're also thinking about, is it going to be what everybody else is wearing, So these kinds of questions I ask myself, aside from the horology, the quality, the QC, the quality control, I would say that I would actually go for this particular piece as one of my Grail pieces. Yeah. So I actually managed to find the pricing. It's about £127,000. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and yes, and one thing is that it's actually it conflicts with how I am. Yeah, because hold on, I'm hearing an echo somewhere.
Yeah, fucking hell. Whoever's there's a window open or something, it's really cheating me, to be honest.
Alex, is that your microphone?
Yeah, I have it mute, so.
Oh, thanks. No, thank you, Alex. So the thing is, I think people who have actually known me, my choices, I've always liked things bigger and chunkier. So this particular piece, when I actually saw it in the Roger Dubuis store, it didn't come off that way. You know, it didn't come off as very chunky. It didn't come off as very odd and too unusual, because it still keeps itself in a very elegant manner. And I think that in terms, actually, Roger Dubuis has so many nice pieces. I don't even know where to start, you know. But in terms of something that I would do every day in the office, or even going out with friends, and if I wanted something fun, the one thing I actually caught myself is that I've been looking at my timepieces, especially those that have transparent and have so much movements happening, that I catch myself looking at, you know, the things moving inside, and I am dreaming, and I literally don't know what's happening, but it's just so hypnotic, mesmerizing for me. So
What
I really, yeah.
is there a complication on this thing, or is it just it looks like a two-hander to me, like that's all it is, right? Is that correct?
Let me see. Okay,
Like there's
so
no seconds. A tourbillon two-hander by the look of it.
that's a very good question. Let me
Yeah,
see.
it looks like a tourbillon two-hander. Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with that. Yeah, tourbillon two-hander. Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
there's always another tourbillon, but realistically, I've got to say this piece is really, it's style. You know, it's really style. It's really cool, and that gold, you know, that gold and the strap itself, it goes really well, and it's not so loud that it really, like, you know, kicks you out, but I generally feel that it's still subtle enough to make a point. So yeah, that's for me. And of course, 72-hour power reserve is the impressive factor that one thing is that I always like to look at the reserve, you know, how much power reserve that watches do have. So I look at how long they have, and this piece has 72 hours, so it's really, really good. And the cartridges are made in titanium. And yeah, so anybody have any thoughts about this so far? It's an acquired taste, yeah, for sure.
It's an acquired taste. I was going to say the case is very funny. I find I'm not with the case at all. The case shape and the dial. It's not my taste at all. I wouldn't have said. But each to their own. Absolutely.
Yeah, I think Roger Dubuis has a lot of designs that actually rock this kind of template, but in terms of this one, it has never stopped catching my eye. I would always come back to look at this piece because it has a level of maturity, at the same time a grandeur look towards its presentation of tourbillon itself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it in the metal, Y2K? Have you put it on your wrist, this one?
No, because when I saw it in a boutique, in a shop, when they I think when they first launched it, I saw it in the shop, but I just I just couldn't bear to go in the shop, you know, because you know,
okay.
we look at the price tag, you know, like
Yeah.
But you saw it in the metal, right? You saw it in the metal, like you saw it, like
yeah,
actually.
it was the
Yeah.
way that Roger Dubuis did the presentation. It was just like the song, you take your breath away, you know. That is at first look, and you hear the music and everything. Yeah. It
I reckon
was
this
like,
one would look a lot better in the metal than what it looks here on the renders and on the screen. You know, I think that's why I'm asking.
It doesn't. It doesn't do this.
You're right.
There's a lot of weird shit going on here, but when you look at it, I reckon when you see it in the metal, I think it would work. I think it would make sense. So I can see what you're saying.
Yeah, I found it very hard to describe it, especially the feeling, because the pictures here just don't work the same when you see it in real life.
Yeah, I get that.
Call me a lover straight for this, or sucker for something like this, but the way that Roger Dubuis did the presentation was, you know, exceptional. You know, when they presented this piece, it was just.
I'm just not sure if I'm sold on that. Where the middle part, look at the bracelet, the rubber strap, the middle part of the case, that metal bit coming down. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm sold on that piece, but again, it's sort of what adds to the uniqueness of this watch. Yeah, all things considered, it's pretty cool. I don't mind it. I think it's cool.
Thank you, everyone, and
I like it as
let
well.
me. I don't know, guys. Recently,
Let's give it a score out of 10. I'm giving this a 7.
7 as well because of this bracelet point. Because you would have to be
Yeah,
stuck with this strap for forever until you go to Roger Dubuis again and get another one.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll give it. I'll give it a 6.5 because I don't like the design. I don't like that star that they put on the dial and the
Race car team, yeah. Well, Watch Cholo made a comment, race car team manager watch, and that's what I was getting, like Formula One, sort of some dude on trackside wearing that watch. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You on that one?
Yeah, thank you so much for adding that in as well. Yeah. Okay, so I'll move on to my second piece. Let me see if. Can you guys see it?
Nice.
oh, legacy machine. Yeah, the LMX.
Abdul, you knocked the
Great
right
choice.
buttons. Yes,
Yeah,
you knocked
yeah.
the right buttons, the right doors.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I was going to say we talked about it. What's the height? 21.4.
Yeah.
My only thing
Thick
about
boy.
yeah, like I mean, I get it. It's a cool watch. It's a Grail watch, and all the rest of it. It's just not a very wearable piece, and I get it. It's not an everyday watch, and yada yada. Cool. You're gonna wear it on occasions, and all the rest of it, but. Just the dimensions of the watch are a bit weird. You know what it reminds me of? It's when have you ever played that game Trouble? And it's got that little thing.
That poppy thing in the center.
You press the dice with that little the little bubble thing in the middle of the board.
The bubble.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on. I'll shut up.
106,000 euros. This Swiss francs. This on 106,000 Swiss francs.
I think Abdul, you chose the one. Is it the one with the green face?
Green dial, exactly. Yeah.
I went with the gold one.
I like the gold. I think the gold looks great. Y2K, really nice choice.
As Abdul loves his leather straps, this is the only one time I would say I would give a leather strap a green light. Yes, because of how the color.
Really?
Because of how the color, the face color, at the same time, the main thing is with the black strap, okay, especially with dress watches, if you're going to consider this as a dress watch, a fun watch, you've got to think about, I think when you're spending that kind of money, you're making an entrance, truth be told. You're already making an entrance on the piece already. So you're not really holding back the horses, you're really just letting go all the way already. So I would say, for a piece like this, you're buying something that's different from, what most people might be considering. It's also an acquired taste because people did mention the chat, it's like it's a bit big and you'd be like bumping into everything. So certainly if you're going to be thinking about bumping into everything, then I think your heart would ache for the glass, the crystal at the top, the dome crystal. But I think the dome crystal really is a full explanation of how much is happening inside there. Yeah. And let's not forget the power reserve, especially 7 days, 168 hours. You can literally put it in a box on Monday, come back on Sunday night, and it's probably still, it's still ticking, still moving. Not a lot of watches have that kind of power reserve in this day and age. There are brands that can run that long, but very few for this kind of quality and price range. Yeah.
Yeah, brilliant.
Okay.
Watch, sure.
So you guys will see my next one. It's the
yeah.
Hey, nice.
Title.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
fuck yeah, man. I love this shit.
So in my research back then, when I explored Beauvais, I don't know. I think everybody's like thinking like I'm probably gone mad, choosing only all the pieces that have almost like an exhibition case that has it's so busy, But I think Beauvais is on a different level. I have to really give them the credit for their design. They are really bespoke.
beautiful. And if you look at the crown, that's got a little blue, little I forgot what was that. Is that like a crystal?
Cabochon.
And I was like this close to having a chapter 2 in my list. Y2K.
Wow.
I'll just say that.
Is it?
Yeah, I didn't have one, but like fucking that close.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I tell the truth about Beauvais is that it's a watch that's really, I find that it's the pinnacle. To me it's like the Mount Everest of
Yeah.
transparent watches, or watches that carry exhibition cases. I think Beauvais, this chapter 2, recital 26, is really like the Mount Everest for me already. So
Yeah.
if someone was to ask me a question between MB and F, and then and the Roger Dubuis, I could literally just buy this one and be done with that point, because I think realistically, when you're spending the kind of money for this kind of watch, you're already somewhere up there already, probably at the peak of your career, and you're already just flying high already. And if you're flying high on a watch like this, it's a whole new level, different ball game,
Yeah.
And I just love the way that it doesn't look busy. If you look at the 7 and the 5, they didn't put anything there because in my simple mindset, I think it's about not keeping it so cluttered, not so cluttered. There's still room. There's still breathing space. Yet, this timepiece is just in its own style brilliant, especially with that sub-dial that has all the world's capitals on it, really.
Yeah.
And you can use it like a disc clock, right?
You follow Beauvais on Instagram, right?
Yes, I absolutely do.
Yeah, the photos, like the actual photos of the watch that they put on there, is amazing. There's just you
To
see
die
the
for.
Mhm.
yeah, it's so cool. Like we're looking at a render here, but when you see the photos of the actual watch, it is mind blowing. Fucking amazing.
Yes.
Super cool.
I mean, of course, some people did mention before that this, I believe this was a bit looking like it was on a slant, but the way that Beauvais, when they designed it, they also thought about the user. So people tend to turn their wrists towards them when they're looking at the time. So little details like this, I would really give credit to a very bespoke brand like Beauvais, and they actually pay attention to like the ergonomics of looking at a watch. You don't have to turn like this. Just at a certain angle, you can see it already. Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting
So
choice, Y2K. Nice.
I really like it as well. And you can
Yeah.
use it as a
Yes.
disc clock, right? You can put it on your desk when you're, I think, right?
I believe it's not this version,
Not this
but
version,
it's
the other one, yeah.
another one that
Yeah.
you can. I call it the 3-in-1. You
Mm.
can put it on the desk.
Pocket watch, desk clock,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
So really, that one is another Beauvais piece that I would say if you're a Beauvais fan, you would definitely not miss it. But in terms of like wristwatches, I find that this is really the classiest, but at the same time, the most beautiful and unique piece. Yeah, really spare no expense at the materials, the workmanship, everything.
Look at that.
Also, let's not forget that the brand Beauvais also has the other pieces where they use painting. I forgot the name. They call it painting. So they do paint the artwork on a flat MOP, a mother of pearl template, a white template, and after which each of them are all hand painted and afterwards encased, and the little works and everything is all done for it. So actually, Beauvais has so much to offer. So if money is not an issue, you would go all out to buy such pieces already, especially if you have strong affinity towards artistry, and horology, and seeing the movement of your timepiece. Yeah.
This is really right. This is really right at the top.
Did you say have a good day, Dodger? He's just nipping out, so he's going to miss the rest of the show. So sorry, JTB.
No,
Thank you.
like Beauvais is really sort of up at the top, man. It's in the it's right up there. No,
Right.
people don't give them the credit that they deserve.
Yeah.
They don't, you're right, JCB. They don't get enough. They don't get enough credit. They don't get enough credit.
I mean,
don't
I
think.
think in defense of consumer, of the consumers, I think the question is affordability as well. So at this level of complication, luxury materials and everything, you're definitely bound to have to break the bank to buy something like that already. So I would say yes. Unfortunately, it's expensive, very
Well, we're
expensive.
talking about Grails though, man. Who cares what the price is? Like,
About money, yes.
what it is,
Okay.
yeah.
Before we get too drowned in Beauvais, I'll move on to my next one. Okay. So my next one is the Omega Seamaster
Oh.
Flip-Flop.
This is the Paul Prof. This is the latest one that Paul Thorpe's bought, isn't it?
Yes.
That's a Paul watch.
Sold his AP to buy the rose gold, the Sedna gold and titanium Paul Prof.
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
This one. Yeah. And just like to say, if anybody's watching down in Brighton, hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great day today. I know that Uncle Jonga and Nick C have gone, and there's going to be a lot of people down there. Hope you have a great day today, and yeah, have a great time.
Yes,
Sorry,
guys at Brighton. Oh no. Guys at Brighton, have a good one. Stay happy, stay safe, and wear your lovely timepieces in good health. So
Yeah.
I know that people probably do also watch Paul Thorpe's videos. So he has been buying a lot of Ploprovs. I think his first one was the white one, and then he progressed on to get the black and orange one. I think he's got a total of 3 Ploprovs or 4 Ploprovs. I'm not quite sure
3.
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
So realistically, if you are an Omega fan and you like diving watches and you like the Ploplov, I would honestly say this is the top of the mountain already of the Ploplov. Getting a Sedna gold and titanium, this is really something else already. Yeah, I have a Ploplov too. My Ploplov is the one with the blue bezel and the white face, which is the modern version of Ploplov without the date. Yeah, so it's full titanium. Same thing with the mesh, with the date
Really?
added. Yeah. So mine's without the date. Yeah. The
Those
modern
shark mesh bracelets. Shark mesh bracelets are just so comfortable, though, aren't they?
Very. So another thing, I'm not here to promote, like for Omega, but I would say that from a consumer's point of view, my own Ploplov, when I was standing under a hot sun, with wearing this shark mesh bracelet, I didn't feel the burn. There's some watches, where you wear the bracelet, and then when you're under a hot, blazing summer sun, your wrist is heating up, But this one, it's just cool. It's just cool, comfortable. And for those with hairy hands, you don't need, or wrists, you don't need to worry about the mesh clipping your hairy arms or your wrists. It's comfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Nice
let's
try.
move. Thank you, guys. So this is obviously people when they give their ratings for this piece. This is no doubt a chunky watch. It's heavy on the top. I wouldn't lie to you guys. It's heavy on the top. It's either you like it or you hate it. Of course, some people say the crown is on the left. It's not on the right. So there have been cases. Actually, it's interesting. Whenever you wear a watch and you bend your wrist, right? If you bend your wrist upwards, sometimes for those who wear chunky pieces, the crown would be like bumping onto your wrist, But if you wear a Ploplov, you don't have that problem. Whether it's okay, only if you wear the Ploplov on your right side. If you're a right-hander and you wear the Ploplov on your right, then yes, the crown would be a little bit of a bit of a faff, because it's there. But if you're wearing at the left, you're actually quite okay. Yeah.
Are we going to call this one the Paul Prof then? After Paul Thor.
Paul Prof.
Paul Prof instead of Blow Prof.
Can
But
I just say, like, to me, this watch is just seems sort of confused, like, because you have on one hand you have a ultra tool watch, right? The Blow Prof is it's a fucking tool watch, man. And then you add some gold and stuff and make it a two-tone. It's like how does that work? Like, how do you make the most tool watch and you add some gold to make it like my brain is exploding.
Like a two-tone Sea Dweller or something, though, JCB. It'd be like a two-tone Sea Dweller or something. It's like your ultra tool watch, but you made it two-tone.
No, but like the Sea Dweller, at least it sort of looks like a sub. But like the Pro Plof is like, you're going down, fucking, you're gonna be bashing sharks and doing, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going down, man. You're doing nothing. Like, and then you want to. It's like, why make it gold?
I have to agree.
Go ahead, Abdul.
Because gold.
I just don't get it. I don't get the concept of the paint.
It's a pure tool watch. Like, you have a crown lock mechanism, and in the Sea Dweller, it's just a pimped out, bigger version of the Submariner. Let's say.
Just a sub, yeah.
This one is just for me. Like, I like the white with the blue one, and the orange bezeled one. These look. For me, I would never wear a watch like this, to be honest. It's just.
I like the orange bezeled and the grey one in the middle for me.
But the gold one, I'm confused as well, like GCB is.
I have the blue one.
I hate, like, with all watches, I actually like that they exist because someone like you, Y2K, like, you will like it. Someone out there will like it. But for me, when I look at it, I go, what the fuck were they thinking? Like, who's gonna wear? Who's wearing this shit? You know what I mean? That's just me, man. That's
the fun factor, JCV, because whenever I wear a Ploplov out, it's literally like finding a rare gem. That's the real thing. Because I've ever been to a restaurant with friends, and then sometimes you're like, oh, I spot a Rolex subby over there. Oh, I spot something. I spot this and that. But very rarely do you spot a Ploplov. It's literally like, I wouldn't use the word impossible.
I know.
It's like,
I know they're rare. You don't see them, but it's even more rare that you see a bloody two-tone one, I reckon. And then maybe that's why it's cool. Maybe that's why it exists, because it's just going to be so rare. Maybe that's what they're thinking. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think for viewers, like who actually are contemplating between the deep sea, the Sea Dweller, and then you want to have a use case to compare, like a premium or top-notch diving watch, and you're spending the money that's already in Sea Dweller range, it's also fair enough to consider the Omega diving pieces as well. I would categorize the Submariner together with the Seamaster because they're about 300 meters. And then the Deep Sea is a lot more on the deeper end. So I would say the Ploplov and the Deep Sea are quite on the same level in terms of when you're doing a compare and contrast. But of course, with the newer is it the Ultra Dive that's coming?
Ultra Deep.
Yeah, Ultra Deep. Thank you, JCB. So with the Ultra Deep and all those things, it's changed the whole dynamics of when you choose like the ultimate tool diving watch, really. Yeah, but that's another subject for another time. For the
just like what Cholo says. If you look at it, it's flat on like this. It looks like a Millennium Falcon.
All right, guys, let me move on before I get too sucked into Ploplovs. The next one I chose is the lovely AP Royal Oak Offshore. Yeah, okay, truth be told, guys, I normally very rarely choose brown colored like straps, okay, or
Yeah.
even like rose gold or brown colored face watches. But I saw this in real life, and I tell you one thing, that this, if I was given a choice to get one AP, and if I was to choose in the offshore category, I would say that this is my piece that I would go for. And it's already breaking my conventions and my traditions of my liking the color itself. But I would say that in terms of offshore, I like this color. It has a very bronze and rose gold look, and I believe, especially even if you wear as a sporty watch and you're wearing jeans or like loafers, or you're going for dinner, I feel that the offshore in the AP line is really a good piece, to consider, and I like it. Yeah. Have I ever like held one? I would say no, but I've seen it in like actually APs in Singapore. There is a very big buyer's base for APs, and a lot of grey market shops really do push out the AP especially the AP Royal Oak offshore very hard. Yeah, and they are still very profitable till today as well. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys think of offshore chronograph versus Royal Oak chronograph? Where do you sit there?
Just a bit bigger, really, aren't they? I mean, I like the classic Royal Oak chronograph, to be honest with you, rather
Me
than
as
the
well.
offshores. The offshores get a bit too big, I find.
I think even the offshore had like a 37 millimeter ladies watch. Let's say they used to sell it as a ladies watch at first, and I actually liked the shape and the size of the 37 millimeters much more than the 42 offshores. But I'm more of a Royal Oak chronograph than an offshore. Like I tried the offshore a couple of times from some friends, and it was just too big on my wrist. Just spans so big on my wrist that it just looks weird, and then doesn't make sense for my
That's
wrist.
what Y2K loves. Y2K loves that big chunky, that aesthetic. Yeah,
Exactly.
I get it.
I mean, I would say I would encourage everyone who's considering, if you're spending money on the timepiece and you are bold enough to try something that's big, think of it the same as real estate. Okay, although it's not the same as buying a house, but you're always trying to think like, I want more, more for my bang of buck. So the logic is, I would like more. So go for bigger ones. If your wrist can take it, go for the bigger ones, really. You're already spending a lot of money, so what do you have to lose at this point? So if the QC is good, reputation is good, and you like the design, most importantly, always like the design. You have to connect with the piece. It's a reflection of your character. So the only fatal flaw that I have heard about the Royal Oak offshores, especially with the crown, is that because I think it's a rubber encased crown, so at times there have been instances whereby people have bumped or have scratched, wear and tear over time. The rubber dust.
Apparently they wear down. You have to replace them after I don't know however long, however much you use it. The rubber is like a consumable, and you have to replace it.
Yes.
On such an expensive watch, like really, like
especially if you're swimming or something.
Yeah.
If you're swimming with it, you would have to really, because offshore, like that's the impression of not of course on leather, but if you have the watch on rubber, you would want to swim with it, and then you would definitely damage the rubber more and more because of the salt water and all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll show you guys my next one. Okay. Now I couldn't really actually, to be honest, when I was looking at the Patek Philippe, truth be told, I have looked at Patek Philippe watches, and from time to time I've always been a bit, I admit I'm a bit like biased to think that they only make pieces that are meant for like dressy pieces.
Yeah.
But in the past 2 weeks, when I went past the Patek Philippe boutique, and I look at the pieces, each piece, and I was trying to see which one I could really feel that, I could still buy, and it still had significance. So for me, I really felt that I was actually in between this one and the Aquanaut with the subdial at the 6 o'clock. What was the name of that one? I think it's another Aquanaut. Yeah, it was another Aquanaut. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one. And in the end, I settled with this one because I felt that it was really the signature. If you have actually seen the that's where we go into the realm of marketing strategy. The marketing power of Patek Philippe. I can only say, when you buy a Patek, sometimes, admittingly, people do hope that you get recognized for wearing a Patek because it's a Patek. So when you think of buying a Patek, to me, I feel that you should buy something not just that you like, but it carries the signature look of Patek. But obviously, Patek also has like their world time is also one piece. It's very beautiful. Shout out to Mr. Jamie Opulence, who has one. That's a pretty piece. A bit too dressy, but still a pretty piece. But I could really say that I do like in terms of Pateks, I would say that this is to me, it's a very mellow, very decent, but at the same time, a signature look of Patek. And this actually supported my decision because about 3 weeks ago, I saw an old man in the market sitting down having a cup of coffee. And when I walked past him, and I was trying to queue up to buy food, and I looked over and I was like, lo and behold, he was wearing a Patek. Now, obviously, I'm like, ooh, is that Patek? And straight away, when you look at the case shape, Patek Philippe's, especially for the Aquanaut, they have a very distinctive look. You won't miss it. Probably not across the room, but maybe at least, because now they've got watches that are modding, people are doing modding. So for Patek, across the room, you spot it already, like it's a Patek. So for me, this is one piece I would go for. Like, you could go to work, you could go to a lunch party and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
very
an
nice.
all-rounder,
Classic.
everyday, all occasion sort of piece. This one.
Yeah.
You can wear this everywhere. This watch.
And not to forget, the clubs, the deployment clubs, I would say. This is Patek's clubs are actually one of the most. When you look at their clubs, they've always got that logo, that very interesting logo, and I think. Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Karen, my 2K.
Oh yeah, the logo is just really distinctive and cool. And for this strap, I like how the exterior of the strap is like a tire. It has a surface almost like a car tire, so that kind of rubberized feeling is actually quite. For me, I'm a person who likes to feel the watch, especially the watches I wear. So sometimes I like to feel its presence. The presence of it is still there. It kind of reminds you that it's still there. Yeah.
Well, that's the design on the dial. That's the design on the dial as well. The those lines.
Yes.
The dial. Yeah.
The dial and the brace and the rubber strap are very congruent in that they have that same motif carrying through. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I quite like the way the numerals are laid out like a field watch as well. It's got that field watch look, hasn't it? The numeral.
Yeah. I agree. And the thing is that, for the price point, for everyone who's looking, SGD is Singapore dollars. So for this price point for Patek, I could say that it's a long.
If you can get it at that price, that's
is that the market price? What's the actual price though? What's the market price on this?
On Chrono or something.
Yeah, I would say you're looking at almost 40,000, maybe 35 to 40,000 at least. Yeah, there's one shop that sells Pateks, a grey market shop that sells a lot of Pateks, and in the past 6 months to a year, the prices have actually just went up over time.
Yeah.
Because in here in Germany you can get it around like older one 2019 maybe for around 60,000 euros.
Euro
Wow.
60,000 euros for that. Really?
Yeah.
For that stainless steel.
For stainless steel plain Jane Aquanaut, just the
Ah,
basic
fuck.
one. Yeah.
Fuck
Like
off, man.
even the dual time or the it's like double that. You're paying
Right.
120.
Ooh.
Yeah, I remember 5 years ago, I got offered a vintage 37mm Aquanaut for like 13,000 euros, and I turned it down like an idiot.
Oh.
I'm regretting this. I'm
That's
regretting
such a
this.
bitch, man.
Yeah, I'm regretting this so hard until now. But yeah, that's life. But I like the Aquanaut a lot, but for the list price, but not for the
Not for
overrated.
the grey mark. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, let me move on to my next particular piece that I find is a Grail watch, which I have in my collection. Mine is the earlier that I call it the first generation. It's the 116660. So
James
to
Cameron.
me, yes. So to me, I know there's a lot of Rolex fans out there, but realistically, whichever Rolex people buy, it's hard to consider what he or she might like. But to me, as a chunky monkey lover, I would say that this is my go-to for sure. How I know the
That's
question
really
is,
chunky, man. That watch. That's a really chunky. That's a fucking gorilla. You know that, right? It's not just a chunky monkey. It is it's King Kong. It's King Kong. Okay.
So
it's
I would-
literally that thick. It's literally it's that thick, man. That watch.
Yes, and I have to agree with JCB on all counts. It is a watch that tells you it doesn't let you go. It tells you I'm there. All eyes on me kind of situation. That is how this particular Rolex is going to tell you that it's there. You're not going to run away from it. It's just very clear cut. It's there. But in comparison with all the other Rolex pieces, I feel that this is really the tank of all. When people say like, oh, the Submariner, the Pepsi, and all these things, I'm like, yeah, but I want more, and I don't quite like it when people are like, oh, I only prefer this because it's popular. But the real thing is that you have to really say that this is like, for example, this is an Abdul watch, this is a JCB watch, or this is an Alex watch, kind of thing. So for me, the blue and the black is realistically also like a testament of how there is always two sides to life, yeah, or two sides to the story. So I think that for me, it's unusual, but I would say that the price, I got it when I got my first one. I paid 17,090. So, yeah, 17,090. And now the price that they're selling is about 19 grand already. It's about 19,000. For the second gens, which is the 12660, it's priced about like 23,000, 24,000 now at this point. But it's kind of hard to tell the differences between the first and second gen. And I think unless you're really hardcore like James Cameron fan, then you would really be able to like compare all the differences, the similarities, and all. Yeah. But this is one of my real pieces.
Did you say Y2K? Sorry, man. Did you say that you have this piece, or you had it before?
I had it.
You
I still have it.
now.
Yeah, it's still in my watch. Yeah, it's in my watch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
so,
man.
No, it's all good. I could.
How much
say,
does the watch weigh? Is it like 250
How
grams,
much?
something like that? Like
That's
quarter of a kilo?
Very technical question. How much I don't have a scale.
I would feel like I would.
57.8 grams. Okay.
Let me see. There's a scale here.
Hey, Y2K, can I ask you this, right? So this watch, how thick is the watch? It's about like, I don't know, not 19, 20 mil.
Hang on, I've got my ruler here. So I remember it's about 2 centimeters.
Okay, I remember it's about 2
21,
millimeters.
20,
Yeah, it's about
20,
21.
20 mil.
It's about 20 mil. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Is this?
rides high. It rides high. Really.
Yeah. Is this the? Could you wear more thicker, chunkier watches than this, or is this at your limit? Can you how far are you going to push it? Where are you going to go? I'm asking you,
Well,
like,
we know
what's the
we know
limit for
that
you?
this is we do know that this is a 44 millimeters. If I
44,
my
yeah.
Yes, I remember it's a 44 millimeters, and I do have a timepiece, which is my Hamilton Field Mechanical. That is 49 millimeters, but it doesn't have that very high
height.
profile,
Yeah.
and it's not okay. This watch, I'll be honest, it's a bit on the heavier end, and you really feel the weight. And if you wear it for a week or 3 weeks, after a while you just kind of grow into it. You don't feel it there. But if you're only wearing it once in a while,
the muscles
Yeah.
will then be stronger because they're carrying 212 grams of steel on
Feel
your
that.
wrist.
Abdul, you could do curls with this if you wanted to. You could do curls with this. Okay. Fun fact: I have ever worn this and my Plof on each side. It is insane. My wife and I said, you know what, we're going to go shopping, and then I was saying to my wife, you know what the ticket is to going into a boutique, a Rolex boutique, wear all your most expensive watches and march in, like crash in like a tank. so I wore a long sleeve shirt, surprisingly, and I managed to conceal both my James Cameron and my Plof. That day I was going out and I didn't want to leave my two watches in the vehicle, so I wore them out. So the guy was like looking. You go into a boutique, the first thing the AD is looking at you, like trying to see what you're wearing. See, it's very obvious to try to see what you're wearing in your wrist. And then when I'm asking him for the timepieces, and he's like, "Oh, sir, I see something bulging in your sleeve. Maybe could you share with me what you're having?" I said, "Sure," And I pulled it out. I said, "Oh," and I wanted to be funny, and I said, "Would you be surprised if I told you I'm wearing another watch?" He said, "Yes." And I flashed the Plof. I'm like, and he was like, "What?" And he was like, "Are you sure that's comfortable?" I said, "It's not. It doesn't matter if it's comfortable or not. It is what I like. These are two of the best diving pieces. And truth be told, guys, when you choose something in the Sea Dweller range, and you look at subbies, you look at some other pieces like all the Hulks and all this, you're like, we look at realistically, you take the Rolex book, and then you're like flipping through, and the guy's like, maybe how about this one, sir? How about this one? And when you own a Sea Dweller, you're kind of like, I can't be bothered to look at the other ones because I don't feel the same anymore. But this is a personal thing. You feel that you're already at the top of, the best you could get for the money.
Yeah. So Y2K, I don't know whether you saw Paul Thorpe did a video comparing the James Cameron and the Ploprof, and I think he scored 109 for the Ploprof and 110 for the James Cameron.
Yes.
Which would you say comes out the best? Which do you prefer out of the two watches, the Ploprof or the James Cameron?
Okay. This is going to be very challenging to answer because if I look at the figures, all right, the depth of how deep the watches can go. So obviously, if I remember, the Ploprof goes about until, is it 1,200 meters?
1,200,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
So if I remember, it's 1,200 meters. So the Sea Dweller goes until 3,900 meters. So in retrospect, when you look at the figures, the numbers don't lie to you. Obviously, the Rolex can go deeper. But in terms of personal preference and liking, I would say I like the Ploprof more. And this question has always been on the mind of consumers when you're thinking about whether should I buy if you have the money, should I buy a deep sea or should I buy a Ploprof or should I get another dive watch? But realistically, you're already at the two best brands you could really, get diving pieces that go that deep. Obviously, if the human being goes into 3,900 meters, if you're not in a decompression chamber, you're pretty much dead already, obviously. So the thing,
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
gonna say it's like saying, okay, we have like two cars, 0 to 200 in 4 seconds, and the other one is 0 to 200 in 3.5 seconds. Yeah, of course the numbers make sense, but which one do you like the most? Like you said, like I like the chronograph more. Okay, then get this one, because anyways, in your streets, in your countries, you don't have streets where you can go to 200 every day. You go out with the car. You know what I mean? Like
Yes.
you will just use it. Maybe inside the city is 50 kmh in
yes.
on the road 100 120, so you won't need to use the full speed of the car, or you will never use it even, like the depth rating of the watches. But which one talks to you the most?
Yes.
Everyone is different.
Something that just occurred to me is why don't we, if we're talking about these chunky monkey, big divers, why doesn't Planet Ocean come into the conversation? Is that something we don't care about, or maybe I'll be more specific, and I'll put that question to you, Y2K. Has Planet Ocean ever come across your desk, and have you considered it?
Actually, I tell you the truth, this is a very good conversation question, JCB. I wouldn't say that we overlook the Planet Ocean. Now, in terms of popular culture, we see James Bond, Daniel Craig, wearing the Planet Ocean 45.5 millimeter in Casino Royale, and also in Quantum of Solace. Now, I feel that in terms of figures of the diving depth, the Seamaster is generally like the entry level of almost like a Submariner. You know, so there's always been a competition of Seamaster and Submariner. And now when we approach towards the Planet Ocean, which is carrying a diving range of 600 meters, but at the same time, the thing about Planet Ocean is that each of them are very different. And I have tried on Planet Oceans. Like there's one that's got like an orange and gray design with a NATO strap. Now that one, interestingly enough, despite the fact that it's called Planet Ocean, it feels smaller. So when I think about the price point, and I'm going to buy, for example, an Omega.
Smaller than what? It feels smaller than what?
When I look at it, it looks smaller than a Seamaster Professional. Yeah, that's
Really?
yes. So that's a very unusual thing because, let me see. We've always considered. Let me just get the light on. So we've always considered. That's nice. I flipped open to the page. So we've always considered this one. If you look at my camera, so oh wait, so silly. I should just put it out on the screen. Let me do that for you. So we've always considered Planet Oceans to be slightly bigger, yes, but it depends on the sizing as well. And realistically,
I'm talking about the big ones, man, like the 44 or the 45. The Planet, like, because you like your chunky watches, right? You like your Rolex, and these watches are these are fucking chunky. These are big, 40. They start at 39.5, then they go to 42, then 43, or maybe 43, 44 up to 45. They've got a lot of different size options, right?
Correct. So I think we're also in
the ultra deep also, right? This is like 46.5, right?
Ultra deep is something else, yeah.
So it's 45.5 millimeters. So when it's a very good question when people do ask me why I don't really look at the Planet Ocean, because I feel that certain prices of Planet Ocean, you have to consider, would you like to pay a little more to go higher? If it's just a little more to go higher, then go higher. Now,
what about what about Blank Pan 50 fathoms, 45 millimeter?
I can't say for Blank Pan because, honestly speaking, I would not be very fair to give it any kind of my opinion on it. Now, there's one that they've been Blank Pan has been featuring one a lot on the ads. Even in Facebook or Instagram, there's actually popped up. This particular Blank Pan has actually popped up. It's caught my eye. It's caught my radar. Now, what is the question of concern that I do have, obviously, is now I'm not disputing to say that Blancpain's movement and all this is not good or it's subpar, because I've not owned one. But the truth of the matter remains is that I think as a person who has been purchasing a brand, you have been sticking to what you feel safe about in terms of your buying.
Yeah.
So I couldn't feel safe enough. Now, for example, you talk about Blancpain. Now I saw the watch, the Ball brand hydrocarbon, the hydrocarbon engineer. Now that watch actually caught my eye because of the very unusual crown shape as well. But realistically, it's only on the exterior, the aesthetics, it looks great. But dare I say, is the rest of it good? I can't until I really purchased one. But until then, if I'm going to make a purchase within the diving realm of this kind of range of watches, I stick to what I know. I think it's kind of like the same people who buy Rolexes and say, oh, I buy Rolexes because I feel that they're very good quality. They've got, they're reliable. Same philosophy, different brand. Yeah. So
you should try the Blancpain. You should try it.
Okay.
I was
Okay.
gonna say, you should go and try on. Go into your local AD or boutique and go in there for half an hour and try on all of the Blancpain that they have. The titanium, the ceramic, all the stuff. Just go and try it on. They've got some cool pieces if you like bigger dive watches. I reckon they've got the market covered in that luxury big diver sort of range.
And in my opinion, it's the finish and the movement is even a peg higher than Omega and Rolex.
Really?
One step higher.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like is the strap that they give, like a canvas strap or like a nylon
sailcloth,
sailcloth, which is like really cheap from Blancpain to do this. But I really like them, and the Barracuda one, the 40mm one, is just like perfect for me.
Is Alex still in the stream? Because I can't really click. If I click,
I'm here. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of it, if you guys are concerned about the integrity and the movement, I wouldn't be the best person to say, because I can only my use case is my experience of what I've bought. But definitely, I'm exploring the Blancpain on my next go-to list. Yes. Yeah. There's one particular diver that I like in Blancpain, and I'm honing in on that one actually. I need to do my research for that piece. Yeah. So just to share, the one that the Planet Ocean I said felt a bit small is the one over here. Let me just click it for you guys.
That's 45.5.
Yes, but it feels small. No, I'm serious. It feels small.
Chrono, man, that thing's like 22 mil thick.
Oh, it feels small, really. I don't know, is it because of the look, color? It feels small.
Then my 34mm dress watches will really feel like a spec, right? Like.
Yeah, but that's just my sharing with you guys.
I like the chocolate dial. It's nice tobacco dial on
it. Looks actually quite good.
It's I call it like a graphite dial. It's like a bit like.
Are you like 8 foot tall and like 150 kilograms?
No, I'm probably smaller than you are. I'm only like 5'8", 5'9" tops.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna move. So we're done with the Rolex. Sorry.
Yeah. What's next?
Okay. So the very last one, not to forget, Aviation timepieces.
Oh yeah.
So I have a very strong liking for timepieces that also have a bit of coverage towards aviation. The Flieger, I call it the Flieger feel, the Flieger look. And in terms of the Breitling Navitimer, the last few months, Breitling has launched a lot of brand new pieces. I've seen the brand new pieces. I've tried them on, but realistically, I can only say that the one with the gold wings. Okay, I know there's a series with the B logo. All right. And then after the B logo, they went to something that's a bit more like a wings, but it was a bit flat on it. And
the AOPA logo.
yes, thank you so much, JC. The AOPA logo. So I felt that nothing beats the what we see here with the proper logo on it. Yeah, and I feel that in every watch box, if you have an opportunity and the chance, get an aviation timepiece. Even what Alex has, his IWC Big Pilot. I love that piece. The Big Pilot, the classic Big Pilot. It's lovely. Very simple. It's not as complicated as this piece, but it's very simple. But yet at the same time, it's crisp, it's clear, and of course, when we compare the IWC Big Pilot to this one, it's totally like two different worlds, because of the way that the subdials, it's got a chronograph, the numbers, and you can even calculate like bills. If you're eating with your friends at a restaurant, you can even use the dial to calculate the what do you call that? The percentage of the text on the bill. You can even do that. There's a way to do it on the Navy timer. And so, what else could you ask for more from a timepiece that's this unique? And the one thing about this piece is, whenever you wear a Navy timer, wherever you go, especially for a watch fan or a Breitling fan, from a distance, when you look at it, either in the bracelet form or with the black, or sometimes look dark blue, or the leather straps, which is super awesome, thick, chunky leather straps. Okay, the hardest leather straps I've ever held. This is just, it's just it's very recognizable, and I think, to be fair, I know people.
So the Nava timer is an iconic watch, no doubt.
Yes, and when we look at the AOTA logos these days, sometimes even Navy timer fans would consider like, should I go and buy that? So I found it very hard to connect with the new AOPA logos, because I felt like it's like something's missing, from the whole thing. But I wouldn't dispute that they look nice. There's one that's in green in color, the brand new one. That looks pretty awesome.
Green.
Yeah, that looks pretty awesome. But in terms of like, would you consider buying one? I would say hold off and really try the older version ones, then try the newer version ones, or try the B logo. But what I found that people prefer is actually going back to the good old days of the gold logo, or some would like to go with the heritage of the B. The CEO obviously considered expanding the brand, so that's why they put a B logo instead of just the wings, because he didn't want Breitling to just be a brand that just simply focused on Flieger and aviation timepieces. So he wanted the brand to be more inclusive, with a more variety. So that's why there was a concept of the B logo. So for me, this is really what I would say. I have this particular piece, the B01, 46 millimeters, in my watch box. It's on a mesh bracelet, and I've loved it. I love it. And
how often do you wear that watch, Y2K?
At least once or twice a week. Yes, once or twice a week. And I actually wore both my Plöplow and this Navy timer to the Jungfrau Mountains in Switzerland to push the boundaries, and to christen them. And it was a very good feeling.
Hey, Y2K, when we christen things, you know what it actually means, don't you?
I don't know. What is the Alex? What is the perpetual time christening way?
I think Beaver can tell us.
Oh dear.
Yeah. You have to watch.
Is it going to be?
They're christening the couch when you buy a new couch.
No, you don't do this to a watch. Come on, Alex. You don't do this to a watch. It's a watch and a couch is two different things,
When you told me that you christened the watches on the mountains, I had just had this vision in my head.
No, that is your vision. Alex. I think you need to come out more from the workshop.
Oh no, listen,
And,
I come right now, don't worry. But what I will say this on that Breitling watch, it's a 3-piece case. So the bezel moves at the top, but it's not a outer bezel like a lot of brands, like a Rolex or like a what else, like an Omega. The bezel top actually physically moves. So there's a 3-piece case. This watch is notorious for water leaking because, as you can see on the description, it says 30 meters. If I'm not mistaken, it says 30, doesn't it?
Yes, 30 meters only.
Because it's really bad for water sealing. And you also find as well that the white inner bezel tends to fade yellow.
Oh, is it? Okay, that I didn't know.
Yeah, and the movement inside is a bolt-on, a bit like the Monaco that I did on my YouTube channel that was really rusted. So access to parts is quite difficult, if especially for Breitling now, because Breitling in the UK have closed down all their access to parts. So even if you were Breitling accredited, they sent a letter not that long ago saying that we no longer will give you access to parts. So they've actually completely closed down their access to parts.
So what was the reason for this closure of access to parts?
Greed.
Oh.
It's
sounds
apparently they got bought out, and ever since they got bought out privately, I don't know how true this is, they started basically making it a lot more difficult to get access to parts. They really tighten the reins.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys. I just had to tell you the truth on the.
I like the design of this watch, but I really like the Zin 903 because they got like the design from the Navy timer design from Breitling, and they produced it. I think like in the late 1990s, early 2000, and they had like Lemania movements. So Zin building a German constructed watch with Breitling design and a Lemania movement, and for me that's the best 3,000 euros watch that you can have with the look.
Yeah.
By the way, Abdul, while I was off, when my screen was off, I got a phone call from Rolex and they were asking for your address. You know why?
Why?
Because the clock that you have behind you is a fake Rolex clock, and they're wanting to know where you bought it from so they can come and arrest you.
Oh. Yeah, that was a gift from my wife. I don't know.
Yeah, your wife's in trouble now.
Oops.
But does it mean that all the airports that have Omega clocks they're going to get into trouble because it's Omega? Or like in Switzerland they've got Hublot, those big Hublot clocks?
Those are genuine.
Yeah.
Those are genuine. The ones the ones that are made in China, actually Rolex do actually send you letters or will send court proceedings if you're caught selling them or even having them. They're really strict. If they want to go down that road, they actually do it.
So that was your selection, was it, Y2K?
It was hard. And actually, I have to give credit to you guys. You guys found like very how should I say, not really the most popular brands, but you really brought them into the light. For me, I felt like I was choosing the brands that was able to be easy to access. We could find easy serviceable options. So I think I had to consider these two factors when I was actually thinking about the Grail watches, and like you can find a service center to service it. Brands that in a way you could still sell on the gray market or the second-hand market, or find a buyer for it because they were just popular brands. But I think with all the different ones, Roger Dubuis, the MB&F, and the Beauvais are the three most really out of the way kind of thing. The way the design the designs, the concept was just out of this world, as compared to the rest of the watches that came along.
If you had to pick one, which would it be?
JCB, why do you have to push those buttons?
Well, Thomas asked me that, so I'm asking you. So it's,
Okay. Then I will do the Beauvais 26, Recycle 26.
Yeah.
No, very good
That would
choice.
be the ultimate, of
Yeah.
all. Although I can't dive with it, but it's still,
I'll just
yeah.
I'll just put in the chat that Bill Sanders did a great video on if you won $1 million,
Yeah.
what watches he would buy, and I'll just put that in the chat now. I'll put that link to that video. It's a really good video, some great watches that he chose. A similar sort of topic that we're talking about now. And yeah, it's a really interesting video. I just wanted to give a shout out. D hasn't turned up. I thought we might have D from D Time Love Show on today, and he hadn't popped in. But I just want to I just want to give the show that he's doing in September a shout out. This is World Time UK. It's going to be the London Watch Event 2022, September 24th at the London Sofitel at Heathrow Terminal 5. And it's a UK's premier watch event at a glance. It's going to be starting at 3 p.m, going on to 8 p.m. There's access from London National Express Piccadilly line to Heathrow Terminal 5, and the principal sponsors are Doxa, and there's going to be over 40 brands appearing, and it's going to be should be a really good event. I'm hopefully going down, and it's going to be a really good, really interesting show. That if you can go to Dee's channel, D Time Love Show, he'll have a lot more, or his Instagram, D Time Love Show Instagram. There's a lot more information on there about this. It should be a really good show. Happening in September, like I say. Yeah, it should be great.
Well, gents, it was really amazing. This 8 Grail Watches was perhaps one of the toughest ones I've ever had, to have to choose. And all the questions that you guys have asked, or even from the chat, have been relevant and most importantly, crucial towards, understanding how our choices are. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
great show, guys. Thank
Thomas,
you
when are we
to
going
everyone.
to do your selection? Is that next fortnight?
Yeah,
We're gonna
next
get
show,
your-
in the fortnight, next show. Me and Uncle Jonga are gonna do our choices. So we're gonna. I think there might be a bit of Rolex from Uncle Jonga. He's a big Rolex fan, so there'll be a few Rolex in there from him. And yeah, I've got a few choices that I've had to chuck a few out because you picked them. So
I reckon
I've
you'll
had
have.
to-
I reckon we can see some Breguet, maybe 1 or 2 Breguets in the mix. I reckon.
Yeah, you might see a bit of Breguet in there, and maybe Ferdinand Batu.
No.
Nice.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Thanks,
it's been,
everyone in the chat, everyone here.
Thank you, everyone in the chats for supporting. Thomas for setting this up, Abdul, JCB, and Alex. Also, as each and every one of you have been very, very pivotal towards the show. And over here, we are also, expanding towards looking at hoping to help you find your ideal timepiece, giving you advice on solutions and advice on your next watch purchase, or thinking about buying your next one. You can you can shoot a question to the email in the Escapement Show. At the same time, we will also want to say thanks to Perpetual Time, Mr. Foti, Alex, for joining us and giving us his professional views as well as experience in terms of watch movement, reliability, and the trends in the market.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Very cool.
Yeah, just put our email address in there once more, and I'll just put Alex's YouTube link in once more.
And while Thomas is doing that, if you're looking for a reliable, trustworthy watch service, pay a visit and send your inquiries to Alex at Perpetual Time. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some great stuff on his YouTube channel, and help him get to 2,000 subscribers quickly, because he's past the 1,000 mark now, and he's bored of that, and he needs to get to 2,000, don't you, Alex?
Yes.
Need to get 3,000 subscribers very quickly. He's an excellent channel. Teardowns of watches, repairs on watches, reviews of watches, everything. He's got it all.
Thank you.
Great
very much.
stuff. Great stuff there,
Thank
Alex.
you, each and every one of you. Everybody in the chats, thanks for, I think we have 19 viewers, and everyone who's actually been watching us from the start. We hope you've enjoyed the content and the sharing from each of us from different parts of the country or the world. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and hope everyone in Brighton has a great time today and doesn't drink too much. And wear your watches in good health. Great to see everyone.
Bye bye, everyone.
Cheers, gents. Bye.
Take care.
Um,